evening and welcome to another exciting night of Laker football. Dave Scott, Tyler Heath, and the whole crew. We are here in Rochester Hills, Stoney Creek, for what is going to be really a very exciting football game. Your 2-0 West Bloomfield Lakers take on the Cougars tonight of Stoney Creek, a big OAA Red matchup. And it couldn't be better. Tyler Keefe, I don't know about you, but I am all fired up. Really looking forward to this first OAA game on the road this season.
And this is the night where we're really going to see the tone set for OAA Red Division season. Those two games happening here in the Rochester area, West Bloomfield and Rochester Hills, Stoney Creek, and then up the road, Rochester, Adams, and Clarkston. At the end of the night, we'll kind of know who are the kings of the hill and who is going to be running the show this season in the OAA Red Division.
Yeah, it's a huge night for the OAA Red. Not only this game, but just right down the road, of course, Rochester Adams, who we'll be seeing in a couple of weeks, and Clarkston. Next week, we got Clarkston Family Fun Night. The OAA, it's like back to school, baby. The OAA is seeing each other, and the powerhouses of the OAA are beginning to sink their teeth into each other, and it couldn't be more exciting. If you're a Big Ten fan, hey, it's the same kind of thing now for high school in Oakland County, and the OAA and our division, the OAA Red, got some great football in it, and we are right in the heart of it. Hey, tonight's game made possible by Premier Pet Supplies in the Orchard Mall. We love you guys. Thank you very much. If you got a pet, you know, your pet will want you to take them to Premier Pet Supplies. Stop by, say hello. The Orchard Mall, there isn't a better community citizen in the greater West Bloomfield area than the folks at Orchard Mall. Stop by and hang out with those fine people. Michigan Week, a project that we're very involved in. We want to thank the people of Michigan Week for participating in our broadcast. Don't forget, it won't be long. It'll be May, and we'll be gathering again together to honor volunteerism in our community. That's what's happened for decades here in West Bloomfield. It's Michigan Week. You can see the toss going on there in the middle of the field. I got to finish my thank yous, though. Deb Macon and Ken Macon, also sponsors. And if you want to do just what Deb and Ken did and just be a sponsor of our broadcast, all you got to do is go to civiccentertv.com/ads, and you can find out all about it. We'll keep an eye on that coin toss in just a minute, Tyler. One more thing. Listen, we are on TV in a big way. You can see all the cameras, and we've got a great crew and a great setup here. And none of this, I'm telling you, none of this happens unless we have a great host, and we really do here in Stoney Creek. And Brian Anderson, the athletic director here, just completely extended himself to us. Look at that. We've got a great facility. We're going to be able to get you shots tonight from all over the field. And, Tyler, one other thing I just want to say, this is an incredible facility. It's a beautiful place for football. It's kind of, built into the terrain here. You come in, and it's kind of like going, when you're going downtown to watch some hockey. It's the same thing. You go into the stadium, you go, hey, where is it all? And it's all down below the grade. It's a lot like that here, too. Great facility. They've been so good. Thank you, Brian Anderson, and everybody at Stoney Creek for being so accommodating. And, again, we couldn't bring this to you tonight without all that. So, we've talked about almost all of the mechanics of the broadcast except the broadcast itself, Tyler. So let's do that real quickly. Thank you for watching. If you're tuning in, we really appreciate you tuning in on all of our outlets or any one of them. So let's go down the list. You can watch on Civic Center TV, Channel 15. You can watch on WBTV, Channel 19 on Comcast, Channel 99 at AT&T. A lot of people, if you're driving around West Bloomfield, they love to tune in to the games on the radio. If you got to go out some point, just turn the radio on, 89.3 Lakes FM. And, of course, we also invite you to tune in through our social media outlets. It's now on YouTube. And if you go to YouTube to watch a game, which, Tyler, over 2,000 people went to YouTube and watched a game last week. If you get in there, if you just subscribe to our YouTube channel, we would really appreciate that. So get in, go to YouTube, subscribe. And the other great way to watch us, of course, is to go to Facebook Live, the West Bloomfield School. So all those ways to watch. Thank you very much. Now let's get back and talk about football. And, Tyler, we're going to take a break, but What do you want to talk about tonight about West Bloomfield after those first two games?
I think after those first two games, you kind of want to see them have a mixture of those two performances. Week one, you saw a stellar performance in all three phases. The offense, especially that high point for the Lakers, and right behind that in the focus area was their discipline. Only 2 penalties in week one against Sterling Heights Stevenson on the road in a big environment in downtown Detroit at Wayne State University. Wasn't the case last week. Many more penalties. Coach Grice talked about it on This Week in Laker Football, especially those pre-snap penalties. They got to clean things up. That defense is on fire. That offense is on fire. They can get that discipline down and get some more reps in for these guys. Get some more experience. Get that chemistry built, particularly on the offensive line side of the ball. They're going to be in a really good position as they enter OAA play.
All right, Stoney Creek, they're 2-0-2. And I think most people, we're ranked 4th in the state by Max Preps and right around there by all the other major rankings in the state of Michigan. People are looking at this game from the outside and saying, well, West Bloomfield's probably going to win. The pressure, don't kid yourself, the pressure's all on the Lakers because we got to win this game. It's just part of the plan. If you're Stoney Creek tonight, I'm not saying you don't have anything to lose, but you could just let it all fly and have a good time. And if you're able to upset West Bloomfield, that's going to be what everyone in high school football is going to be talking about on Saturday.
It's kind of like that situation we saw a year ago with their neighbors here in Rochester area, in Rochester Adams. Their game against West Bloomfield was kind of their coming out party last year as the critics weren't necessarily low on Rochester Adams, but they weren't high on them either. And this year, it's kind of a similar situation for Stoney Creek. Came out of the gate firing on every cylinder, especially offensively. 70 points in week one against Mumford. 42-7 last week against my technical alma mater in Bloomfield Hills, and this is a team that didn't come in very highly ranked.
Why do you say you're you went to high school.
To Andover.
You went to Andover. It's not Bloomfield Hills.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not a Blackhawk. I'm not going to associate myself with not one but 2 football programs that are a little bit down on their luck, Dave.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about high schools and the history, in particular West Bloomfield. We come back, talk a little bit more about these games. It's so cool because of the great setup here at Stoney Creek. You can look out the window, Tyler, and wave out the window, and you can see one of our cameras out there in the field. So, hi, everybody. This is how cool it is. And, again, thanks to Brian Anderson for setting us up. This is, I got to say, this is the best setup we've ever had for a broadcast. Hands down, ever, including Ford Field.
Yeah.
I mean, this is awesome. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a minute. It's your West Bloomfield Lakers 2-0 coming into the contest, taking on Stoney Creek, the Cougars, also 2-0. A battle of the undefeated in the OAA Red. Don't go away. It's all coming up right here. It's going to be a great game. You are listening to and watching Laker football, and we will be right back.
Hey Laker fans, do you know a friend or neighbor that volunteers in Greater West Bloomfield? We would love to help you recognize them at the 51st Annual Michigan Week Awards. Countless members of the communities of Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield give their time and talent daily without regard for recognition. You can help recognize these individuals and organizations at our awards breakfast next year on May 12, 2023. Nominate your neighbor or organization starting January 28, 2023. Go to michiganweek.org for details. Plan a day out, enjoy an exquisite dinner, or soak in the atmosphere at Orchard Mall in the heart of West Bloomfield. Between Maple and Orchard Lake Road, capture the moment at Frameable Faces. Wrap up your back-to-school shopping at Guys and Gals, or get presents for your pet at Premier Pet Supply, and so much more. Visit the Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield, and consider visiting November 26th for their Small Business Saturday. Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield.
Welcome back to the Laker pregame show. Laker football here on 89.3 Lakes FM, Civic Center TV. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We are wherever you are. We didn't mention we're also on My Michigan TV statewide. You can install the app on your phone or install the app on your TV and catch the games that way and find out about a lot of other really cool Michigan programming. So you were talking about your alma mater, Bloomfield Hills. One thing that's going to happen next week at Family Fun Night is we're going to celebrate the 50th anniversary of West Bloomfield High School.
Yes.
And I did graduate from West Bloomfield in the 70s. I wasn't there the year they opened in 72, but shortly thereafter. But I just, a little personal note here. My mother was on the school board at the time, very active in the community, Agnes Scott. very active in the community back during those days. And it warms my heart every time I walk into the high school and they've got the plaque of the school board members that were part of the board when they built the school, and I get to see that. So this 50th anniversary, important for me. It's important for our community, though, as well, and a great opportunity to celebrate a milestone, 50 years of education in that building, and all the amazing people we've turned out. Now we've got a new middle school, a lot of great things going on in the district, and the athletic program, not just this team, but success in women's basketball and baseball and other programs. And then I talked to Eric Pace this morning on the Splash, and, you know, everyone is just excited to see some level of things getting back to normal in the schools. So it's a really exciting time. And we saw it last Friday. There were over 2,000 people at that football game last Friday, and we're going to have another big crowd tonight. It's really, forgive me, I'm a little fired up.
No, it's hard not to be fired up when you're getting kind of back to that normal fall feeling here in our community, not just in West Bloomfield, but in Oakland County, in the state of Michigan, and all throughout the U.S., where football fans and their communities are going back to that kind of gathering place. They go every Friday night under the lights to watch their local team, watch their kids' friends, their neighbors play the great game of football and come together as a community.
All right, so the whole presentation here at Stoney Creek, they got a big band that will be coming out. We can see them lining up on the far side. As for our West Bloomfield fans, are starting to make the way to the expansive visiting bleachers on the far side. We'll get a chance to see them from our vantage point on the home side. We'll get a chance to see our coaching staff during the game as well. We'll catch as much of that as we can for you on TV. Tyler, watching these last two games, our replays, it's fun to go back and watch the replays because we miss a lot that we don't see during the game. And I'm telling you, this is a very potent offense. But the thing I see when I'm watching the replays is how amazing we are in the trenches, not only on the defensive side, where West Bloomfield has a history of just being intimidating, and we shut two teams down after one score, essentially, for the rest of the game. But our O-line, man, we got a great offensive line.
Yeah, that offensive line is absolutely terrifying for whatever defense is going up against it. It is headlined most notably by number 56, Amir Herring, committed to the University of Michigan, a guy that in his first year on the varsity team, well before he ever committed to Michigan, well before then head coach Ron Bellamy became their wide receivers coach, Coach Bell referred to him as, that guy has 4-star blue chip written all over him, and man, oh man, is he correct. 6'4", 285 on the blind side right next to him. They got Jamar Johnson in the Laker 52, 6 foot, 240, junior offensive lineman. Terrence Daniels is back. At the left guard. Jamar Johnson's on the other side at the right guard. Center Dallin Henry, also a big player in the trenches for the Lakers. Multi-year starter for this team. Also had some reps at the guard position during the championship year. So not only is this a physically imposing offensive line, it's an offensive line with experience, and it's an offensive line that has great chemistry as a unit. And with a second-year quarterback at the helm, especially a mobile quarterback, likes to get out of the pocket and throw the ball, likes to get out of the pocket and run for positive yards, that is huge at any point of the year.
And if you had a chance to watch kickoff of the NFL season last night and see Buffalo take it to our good friend Matt Stafford and company in L.A., you know, you really got a clear indication of you cannot win football at any level unless you have an imposing defense, and it's really hard to win in the NFL, and I think it's getting harder to win in high school and college if you can't put pressure on the quarterback, and Matt was having a hard time last night. For the Lakers, the guy, if you like watching exciting quarterback pressure, the guy to watch tonight is Brandon Davis-Swain.
Yeah, an interesting story with Brandon Davis-Swain. We know he's committed to go play in South Bend in a couple of years for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, but their arch rivals, the USC Trojans, just this week gave Brandon Davis-Swain an offer. So still some storyline developing there. I don't imagine anything is going to change with that, especially with a rival, but that just speaks to the talent level of Brandon Davis-Swain and the performance on the field. So many quarterback pressures last week, a couple of sacks as well. And then on the other side, you kind of have a tandem of defensive edges too that are coming in that are young, a little bit more green, but man, loaded with talent, loaded with size. You think about Stephen Fountain, the sophomore, 6'9", 245, just an absolute freak of nature at that position physically at his age. And then last week, we saw a lot of great action from Jonathan Gabriel. Look out for the West Bloomfield number 9. 91 on the opposite edge of Brandon Davis-Swain. He had a couple of really nice plays, a really underrated plays at the sideline to prevent bunch yard plays, and he has been having a great season as well. And that's not to discount those defensive tackles like Xavier Davis, who this coaching staff just raves about.
Well, as you can see, it's a beautiful night here. For those of you watching our video tonight, it's a beautiful night for football, not a cloud in the sky, very little wind. You're going to hear a lot of breeze on our microphones because it's like a hurricane up here in the press box, but a very little wind in the field. We got a slight breeze. Couldn't be better. Temperatures are moderating a little bit, not quite as hot as it's been the last couple of days. Because of the contour of this field, it's already shaded. A lot of other fields that are not set down, in a bowl like they have here, it's a little bit different, but we've already got some shade. It's going to be a comfortable night for football. Weather couldn't be any better, and we got a great facility and two great teams. An OAA Red matchup tonight with the West Bloomfield Lakers 2-0, and the Stoney Creek Cougars also 2-0. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. We got the national anthem, and then we got our kickoff right around the corner. Thank you very much for tuning in on Facebook, on YouTube, watching on CivicCenterTV.com, My Michigan TV, and listening on the radio on 89.3 Lakes. Dave, in just a minute.
Wake up, Greater West Bloomfield. Start your mornings with The Splash and tune in for The Splash Live. Get acquainted with people, places, and activities that are live, local, and for you. First thing in the morning, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. on our Civic Center TV YouTube page, or watch us live at Civic Center TV or on Facebook. The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live update show. Fire Prevention Week is just around the corner. Join volunteer, part-time, and on-call firefighters at this year's Fire Open House. Catch up on your fire safety knowledge with live demonstrations and hands-on activities. Chat with local businesses and resources about fire prevention, see some familiar faces, fight future fires, and make some new friends. The West Bloomfield Fire Open House, October 2nd from noon to 3 p.m. at Fire Station 1 on Orchard Lake Road. Mark your calendars for the 11th Annual Family Fun Night at West Bloomfield High School. Stop by on Friday, September 16th at 5 p.m. for an evening of free, fun activities as we honor our military, police, and fire heroes. Plus, stick around to see Laker football take on Clarkston at 7 p.m. To find out more, scan the QR code on your screen or visit wbsd.org/community/family fun night.
Welcome back to Laker football. Dave Scott, Tyler Keith. We're bringing you the play-by-play of the color broadcast tonight. John Atwater, our technical director, the man who's hitting all the buttons, making all the video happen all night long. Good to have John Atwater and the Tony brothers, both of them, Barry Mays and Blue, I should add. Matt is out there working really hard. Dom is out there working hard, and that is our crew tonight, bringing you tonight's live video version of Laker football. Tyler Keith, couldn't be more fired up. I'm really fired up about this season. The Lakers are looking as good as ever.
They are. They're looking excellent. The defense has been deadly. The offense has been potent, and this is really that first test for the Lakers as they head into OAA Red play. The next few weeks are going to be exceedingly tough for the L Boys.
All right, so we want to remind you again, you heard the promo just a minute ago, but don't forget Family Fun Night coming up next Friday, and it's going to be a great contest with Clarkston. The place will be packed. We're going to celebrate the 50th anniversary of West Bloomfield High School. We'll be there broadcasting live. Not sure of all the details, but we'll be there around 5 o'clock. Come on out, say hello to Tyler and I and the rest of the crew, and then stick around for what's going to be a great football game next Friday night back at West Bloomfield. Tonight, it's a beautiful night in northern Oakland County as two OAA Red rivals get together. It's West Bloomfield, your Lakers, and the Stoney Creek Cougars. Both of them coming 2-0, and right there in the field making a lot of noise, and the hometown crowd making a lot of noise too for the Cougars as they come out to the field at the fanfare of the band, and certainly exciting the hometown fans. So they're fired up here, Tyler. They're 2-0, and they got West Bloomfield here tonight. They got a really good reason to be very excited.
Yeah, this team's been lighting up the scoreboard so far this year. Last year they averaged 22 points per game, gave up about 23. So far this year they're averaging 56 points per game. That is tied for the 4th highest scoring average among teams in the state of Michigan with Southfield A&T after the first 2 weeks.
Well, and you know, we're not having a big problem putting points on the board either.
No.
Lakers have really been able to put them up, 33 last week and 47 the week before. Our offense has been potent. Our defense has been able to shut down teams, have been able to get off to a little start, and then we've been able to shut them down. And tonight, we just got to see if we can keep it up and keep the momentum moving forward.
Yeah, the thing with the Lakers is going to be consistency, and it's going to be discipline, especially now you're in the OAA Red schedule. These next several weeks going to be exceptionally tough. You got the Cougars tonight, you got the Wolves next week, and then you got the Highlanders, that big game 3 weeks out.
I mean, that's going to be massive, and it's going to really be interesting to see what happens tonight. I assume we're keeping a really close eye on the Clarkston and Rochester Adams game. Because if Clarkston, I wouldn't call that an upset. If Clarkston beats Adams tonight, they've certainly had the run of the OAA Red, but it would not be a big surprise to see that happen. All right, so we're waiting for the national anthem here now, and we got both teams lined up on either side of the field. You can see the Lakers there as they're making some announcements. The band is here. They're going to be performing the national anthem live tonight, and again, I couldn't be more thrilled to be able to bring all this to you tonight in video, so you can actually watch the game and be a part of it in person. We're going to be doing this all season long, as much as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to stand at home for our national anthem. All right, well, there you have it, the national anthem, and we are here ready for the kickoff. Any final thoughts, Tyler, for tonight's game?
For the Lakers, it's going to be communication in the trenches in particular. Getting those plays started, getting them started on time, preventing those pre-snap penalties. That didn't prove to be a big issue for them a year ago, but it could be a big issue for them now.
And we missed it because
like
I wasn't expecting. Coast Guard flew over. These flyovers, even in high school games, been happening more and more. And how cool is that?
Yeah, super cool to see the Coast Guard chopper fly over, and quite low. We were able to see a really nice view coming across the press booth.
He was really low.
I mean,
what is that big noise that's going on? So, Lakers are on the field. We're waiting for Rochester to make their way out. The Cougars, Stoney Creek, to make their way out here. We'll get this game underway. Shadows on the field already. And like I said earlier, kind of unusual. In West Bloomfield, we wouldn't have these shadows here this early, but in this time of the year. But field is already shadowed. Lights are already on. And here we go, getting ready for the kickoff of tonight's contest. Again, both these teams come into this game 2-0.
Yeah, tonight West Bloomfield will kick off to the Rochester Adams Highlanders. And again, been a great kickoff staff for the Lakers the last couple of years. Headlined by Ryan Krauthammer, great left-footed kicker for West Bloomfield.
Back to receive for the Cougars is Kyle Parks and Vaughn Hoots. So they are back and they're standing on their 10-yard line or so. Krauthammer will be kicking off for the Lakers as he's done for the last year and a couple of games. He's standing at the 40-yard line. Lakers special teams are on the field. They're wearing their visiting white with green numbers. The home team has got their dark-colored jerseys on. kind of a maroon, reddish maroon, if you will, and their deep navy blue pants. And I think we're ready to get this thing underway. It's time now for Laker football right here in 89.3 Lakes FM and Civic Center TV and the whole crew. And here comes the kick, and it's a long, deep one to about the 5-yard line. There'll be a return, the 5, the 10, the 15, up to the 20, and a nice tackle by a number of Lakers coming up off the bottom of the stack is Kari Jackson.
And this is what the Lakers will do. They'll kind of test out that kick returning staff early on in the game, unless they know the kind of talent that's going up against them, and it's a big talent. In that case, they might kick the ball high. Lots of hang time, not a very long kick, but enough to give that defensive front on the special teams unit to the football.
So coming on out will be the Cougars, and Justin Taylor is their quarterback. And what do we know about Justin, Tyler?
This guy is a speedy quarterback, dual threat in the backfield. He is a senior quarterback with lots of starting experience last 3 years. He has been the freshman starter, he has been the JV starter, and last year was the backup for this team. Coach Merlot actually expanded the playbook for his skill sets, more RPOs and reads in the backfield for this quarterback.
In the backfield will be Poots, Vaughn Poots, one of the return men on that last kick. So it's Poots and Justin Taylor in the backfield. Got a man in motion. Taylor takes snap, hands off to Poots, runs it right up the center, gets a nice gainer there. Gain of about 6-7 yards on the first down.
You talk in pregame about the potency of the West Bloomfield offensive line. Same thing goes for this O-line in Rochester Hills for Stoney Creek. 3 seniors on that line, 2 juniors on that line. Coach Merlot and company returning a lot of key players in the trenches this year on the offense.
All right, so it's going to be second down and about 2 or 3. Ball on the 27-yard line. Taylor, the quarterback. 2 men split left, 1 man out to the right. Taylor taking his time, surveying the Laker defense. Clock is ticking. And here we go. We got the snap. They hand it off and running inside. Lakers right there. This time a big stop. Not much of a gain at all. Kari Jackson there. They do push and move the pile, and maybe good for a first down.
Yeah, you got a lot of power up on that offensive line, and you're able to help out. This is what Stoney Creek does, too, in the backfield. Put some of their bigger guys in the backfield, those wide receivers that have some size, kind of tight end kind of bodies, more of a fullback, kind of a running back, too, in John Fogler. They love to run those power rushes, and against this Laker defensive line, that's going to really help set up the pass as well.
Ball on the 33-yard line, 1st and 10 for Stoney Creek. Checking into the game is Kyle Parks, the running back. He's in the backfield along with Taylor, the quarterback. Receivers split up top, one on the near side. Taylor in the shotgun. Sets, takes snap, again high snap. They dish it into the backfield and caught for a loss. Nice job by West Bloomfield. And one more time, Kari Jackson.
Yeah, nice tackle by Jackson after the missed tackle by Jameer Benjamin. Man, he had the jump there, the cornerback, that number 3 cornerback for West Bloomfield, getting out on the play, getting to the quarterback, and just an evasive move, nice evasive move made by Justin Taylor.
All right, so it's going to be a loss of about 5, 6, 7 yards. Ball is on the 27-yard line of Stoney Creek. About 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. Man in motion. Stoney Creek takes a snap, get a high snap. They run it up the middle. And again, Jackson in the backfield. They keep running the ball right up the center. Same play, and the Lakers are there to read it. After 3 or 4 times, Lakers kind of know where they're going.
Well, they read that play perfectly. Put 7 men in the box, but this time put 5 guys on the defensive line. And what that allows is a little bit more power on that weak side. Kari Jackson breaks through, gets right at the rusher.
All right, you can see in the replay, Kari Jackson really unimpeded to the quarterback, Tyler.
Yeah, this guy is a powerful player. Last week, 15 tackles, 9 solo, 6 assisted at home in the home opener against Harper Woods. Also 4 tackles for a loss and a sack against the Pioneers.
All right, so it's going to be, 3rd down now and about 17. Stoney Creek will have to throw quarterback under pressure. He takes the ball and runs to the 32-yard line. It gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's about it. And it's going to be 4th and 10 now, and Stoney Creek will have to punt.
Yeah, luckily he's got some speed on him there, Taylor. He was about to get punished by the punisher himself, Brandon Davis. Swain led him right into a tackle by Jameer Benjamin, and that forces 4th down.
So, still scoreless here, 8:46 to go in the first quarter in Stoney Creek. Lakers will get a chance to get their hands on the ball for the first time. It's 4th down. Stoney Creek will have to punt. Samaj Morgan. This guy's going to the University of Michigan. He's lightning fast. He's got to be one of the best receivers in all of high school football, and he is in the Laker backfield here, standing at the 39-yard line, getting ready to receive the kick.
And he's been great in the kick returning front, too. An 81-yard kick return in week 1 for this Laker team against Sterling Heights Stevenson, and the guy is climbing up the record books on the offensive side.
So here comes the kick, but we do have a timeout before that kick. We're going to take a timeout as well. Scoreless here in Rochester Hills. I'm Dave Scott with Tyler Keefe. We'll be back after these words.
Wake up, Greater West Bloomfield. Start your mornings with The Splash and tune in for The Splash Live. Get acquainted with people, places, and activities that are live, local, and for you. First thing in the morning, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. on our Civic Center TV YouTube page, or watch us live at Civic Center TV or on Facebook. The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live update show. Fire Prevention Week is just around the corner. Join volunteer, part-time, and on-call firefighters at this year's Fire Open House. Catch up on your fire safety knowledge with live demonstrations and hands-on activities. Chat with local businesses and resources about fire prevention, see some familiar faces, fight future fires, and make some new friends. The West Bloomfield Fire Open House.
Welcome back to Laker football right here at 89.3 Lakes FM and Civic Center TV. Kickoff all the way down to the 27-yard line. Here comes Samaj Morgan. He breaks free up to the 40, gets from the outside, breaks free at the 50, still on his feet at the 40, weaving around the field, still on his feet at the 30. It's Samaj Morgan in the end zone, one man to beat. Finally brought down at the 17-yard line with a penalty flag, Tyler, and I think that flag is going to be on the defense. Amazing run back by our own Samaj Morgan.
And the patience at the beginning to recover that football as it's bouncing, that is a veteran move by Samaj Morgan. Get in the spot where you have the ability to recover the football and then follow your blockers. He is so elusive. He is so athletic. His agility, his ability to start and stop on a dime really benefits this Laker team in all 3 phases of the game.
And you see the penalty face mask called against Stoney Creek, so they'll take that one halfway to the goal after the amazing return. We'll wait for the final spot of the ball. Lakers are in the red zone now. It looks like they placed the ball at the 12-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 for your West Bloomfield Lakers. Rick Nance, quarterback, in the backfield along with Kenny Jones. Nance takes a snap, hands off to Kenny Jones, gets up to the 10, down to the 8-yard line. A nice run on the Laker first down.
Yeah, and again, that offensive line kind of squeezing to one side to allow Kenneth Jones to get some of those yards. Sometimes these holes aren't opening up against more beefy defensive lines and more athletic linebacking cores. And for the Lakers, they figured out that if they kind of shift their offensive line a little more double teams, they can kind of give Kenneth Jones a bit of room to run directly behind the tackles and guards.
Ken Jones in the backfield along with the quarterback Rick Nance. 2nd down, we'll call it a long 6. Kenny Jones gets it again. This time he is caught for a loss. And a really nice tackle that time by Adam Bazzi of Stoney Creek.
Yeah, these linebackers, Bazzi and Seth Lumen, have been very powerful for Stoney Creek so far this year. A couple of big, imposing players that are able to get back to the quarterback. As you see here, it kind of just rushes right between Dallin Henry and Amir Herring on the weak side.
So it's going to set up a 3rd down and about 6. Lakers need to get down to about the 3.5-yard line, the 4-yard line or so. Can still get a first down without getting in the end zone. Here's Nance. Nance keeps it. He's in trouble in the backfield. He's going to be caught for a loss. And Bazzi again with another big tackle, able to penetrate to the Laker offensive line we've been talking about so much and come up with a sack.
And what he did there was he kind of waited for Rick Nance to get into a position where he had to roll outside the pocket. Here, Nance fakes the handoff, he rolls outside, and Vogler, he just goes right at him instead of trying to chase him down, kind of wait in space, and Bazley makes a nice tackle.
All right, so the Lakers are going to go for a field goal now. Setting up the kick for West Bloomfield is Krauthammer. This is going to be a 30-yard field goal attempt, not much wind. The ball will be placed right about the 20-yard line on the near hash. Waiting for the snap. There it is. It's good. Ball is down, and it is tipped as it goes off. So no score for West Bloomfield. Lakers turn over the ball, and very fired up is Stoney Creek after coming up with a big stop right there. I mean,
look at that D-line. Look at them get that jump immediately. Just get low, get powerful against this D-line. Yeah, they had a jump. The athletic players on the edges had an immediate jump over the Lakers and were able to break contain right off the snap and get involved in that kick.
Stoney Creek faithful know who they're playing tonight, and anytime anything big like that comes up, you're going to hear the fans go absolutely nuts. They did their good job by the Stoney Creek defense to keep the Lakers off the board, out of the end zone, and then to deny them the field goal. So it's going to be 1st and 10 now for Stoney Creek, ball on their own 20-yard line. Scoreless here in Stoney Creek, 5:03 to go, and the clock is now ticking. They want to run the ball right up the center, and not much doing there. Lakers with the tackle after a gain of about 1. Coming off the bottom of the stack is Adrian Epps.
Yeah, Adrian Epps there, and also good support on the tackle. A half tackle there for Xavier Davis, who's having a big season so far this year. Had a couple of really big tackles last week against Harper Woods and preventing them from being able to run the ball at the Swamp.
So it's going to be 2nd down now, and really gain maybe about a half a yard. That's just about it. Scoreless here with 4:30 to go in the first quarter. Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe, and the whole crew bringing it to you on radio and television tonight. And a great OAA matchup shaping out to be pretty interesting so far tonight, Tyler.
Yeah, a couple teams used to scoring the ball. That's going to be easier said than done this evening.
Justin Taylor. Justin Taylor keeps it. Screen pass to the right. Good and complete at the 20. Up to the 30, 35-yard line. First down until the Lakers are able to tackle him, and that's Wellens with the tackle.
Yeah, Lemon had a big game on the defensive side of the ball last week. The 6', 225-pound senior with 7 tackles. But this week on the offensive side, and that's exactly what Coach Merlo has done with this young quarterback, Justin Taylor. He designed those kinds of plays, put them into the playbook for this quarterback strong suit.
A couple of receivers split out to the right side. Taylor in the backfield. He's got one back there, one guy in the slot. The whole formation shifted over to the right-hand side of the field. Taylor takes a snap. Oh, he loses the ball. He's going to be caught in the backfield for a loss. Bad exchange. Taylor went down at the 31-yard line, and a loss of about 6 or 7 on that play.
Yeah, he wasn't entirely down just yet. A good tackle attempt there by John Gabriel. Again, Jonathan Gabriel, a big game last week. We talked about him earlier. You see here. Gets at Justin Taylor, but Taylor able to recover. He kind of stiff-armed the ground, stayed active, didn't make contact with the ground with any of those points, like his elbow or his knee, and was able to get a couple extra yards. But that being said, nice stop by John Gabriel.
So it's going to be 2nd down. We'll call it 15 to go. Ball on the 33-yard line of Stoney Creek. 2 receivers split out to the left side. Taylor, the quarterback, takes a snap. They want to run it inside. Fakes. Now they screen it off to the right-hand side. Again, complete out to the right. And good for a gain of about 6 or 7 yards. Nice pass that time again to Seth Lumen.
Yeah, and they're going to keep running these kinds of plays. Kind of got the identity of the West Bloomfield Lakers down tonight in the trenches, running those dive plays and those draw plays earlier on in their first series out there. Get that identity, scope out this defense, see how they're playing ball tonight, get a little bit of an idea of their game plan, and then do your bread and butter, these RPOs with the quarterback, reading those linebackers, reading the attack of the D-line, and deciding between a couple of different plays that are designed, one in the backfield and one in the passing game.
Stony Creek certainly calls the plays from the bench with a bunch of big signs and lots of signals from the coach. Justin Taylor picks him up. He's got Fogler in the backfield. Again, man in motion is Lumen. They run it right side. Quarterback keeper for Taylor. Taylor gets up to about the 45-yard line, brought down there by the Lakers. It'll set up 3rd down and 3, Tyler.
Yeah, this is a guy that can rush for significant yards against the Bloomfield Hills Blackhawks last week right here at Stoney Creek. 103 yards rushing for the senior quarterback.
So we'll call it 3rd and 2. The ball is actually placed on the 46-yard line of Stoney Creek. Scoreless if you're just tuning in. Lakers had a great run back by Samaj Morgan, but couldn't do anything with it in the red zone and actually had a blocked field goal attempt. Stoney Creek is trying to march back after that. Taylor with a crowded backfield. Everybody bunched up. Show the run. Taylor takes the snap. He's going to run it himself right up the middle. He's going to get the first down a little bit more down to the 45-yard line. Had a really nice job as they bunched up. Good job by the offensive line, Tyler.
Yeah, and we saw last series as they were kind of running dive plays with their running back.
Taylor takes the snap. He's going to run it himself right up the middle. He's going to get the first down a little bit more down to the 45-yard line. Had a really nice job as they bunched up. Good job by the offensive line, Tyler.
Yeah, and D-line.
All right, so it's going to be a fresh set of downs for Stoney Creek. They place the ball on West Bloomfield's 45-yard line in the final moments of the first quarter. Stoney Creek with Taylor, the quarterback, and Folger in the backfield. They hand off to Folger, tries to run it right up the middle. This time the Lakers are not going to allow that to happen. And no gain, although the player has not gone down yet. This is just a big pile of football players, and they're like moving one way a little, moving the other way a little bit, but he didn't go down. But at some point, they got to stop that play because of a lack of forward progress, don't you think?
Yeah, it's tough to do that when you got forward progress, backward progress, forward progress, backward progress. Neither of these lines content to concede the other.
All right, so it's 2nd down now after a loss of 2. The ball on the 47-yard line of the Lakers. Stoney Creek is in no rush to get these plays. Even when they get the plays set, they like to hesitate for 3, 4, 5 seconds and scope out the Laker D.
This is something that Coach Merlot talked about. They like to kind of mix up between stretching the clock and running hurry up.
All right, Taylor, Folger in the backfield, and we've got a whistle here and a timeout taken by Stoney Creek. So with about a minute or so left in the first quarter, Stoney Creek calls a timeout. It's scoreless, and that's a big deal if you're Stoney Creek. It's scoreless here in Rochester Hills. Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe, thank you very much. We're going to keep it right here. Don't forget, next week, another big football game in the OAA Red as Clarkston comes home, and it's Family Fun Night, Tyler.
Yeah, and a tradition for West Bloomfield, the 16th annual Family Fun Night, but it's also a special Family Fun Night as they celebrate 50 years of West Bloomfield High School, 50 years of the community, 50 different graduating classes, and of course celebrating our veterans, our police, our fire, and all those local public servants who help to keep West Bloomfield one of the safest communities in the U.S.
It just reminds me that I'm getting old. But no, it's going to be a lot of fun. We hope you come by. We're looking forward to meeting you and celebrating our great history and the legacy of that West Bloomfield High School 50 years. Just seems like they built it literally. It seems like they built it just a couple of years ago, and we put that tower up on top of the auditorium for the Big 89. And, you know, it's been a great run. Been a great run for our community. So 2nd down and 12. Ball on the 47-yard line of the Lakers. Taylor with Folger in the backfield. Fake the handoff. Pass off to the right side. Little screen. It's been working for him all night long in the direction Seth Lumen. And that is just working. He's a pile to bring down tons of yards after catch. Lakers at a first down. Taylor with Folger in the backfield.
Take him down, diving at him,
fake the handoff. Pass off to the right side. Little screen. It's been working for him all night long in the direction Seth Lumen.
And even at Kari Jackson's size, 6'2", 210 pounds.
Well, the net result is another first down. Ball on the Lakers' 35-yard line and a really nice sustained drive here for Stoney Creek. Just about a minute left to go in the first quarter. This time they do run it inside, and they break a tackle in the backfield. Lakers really penetrated nicely, but a gainer there of about 3 or 4 yards, and a nice advance of the ball by John Fogler.
Yeah, Fogler just kind of perfectly placed his body on that play as he picks up that football. As you're seeing the Laker D lineman attacking and right in position to make a tackle on the ball carrier. And again, this is what Stoney Creek likes to do. In the perfect world, they'd stretch the clock on all of these plays, take as much time as they possibly can, control the pace of play, but they also like to mix it up against various teams, and when they can, speed up.
Well, they're going to take enough time that the first quarter is going to come to an end, and at the end of the first quarter, it's your West Bloomfield Lakers scoreless. Stony Creek 0 as well. Stony Creek moving down the field. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. You're listening to and watching Laker football on 89.3 Lakes FM and Civic Center TV.
Wake up, Greater West Bloomfield. Start your mornings with The Splash and tune in for The Splash Live. Get acquainted with people, places, and activities that are live, local, and for you. First thing in the morning, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. on our Civic Center TV YouTube page, or watch us live at Civic Center TV or on Facebook. The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live update show. Fire Prevention Week is just around the corner. Join volunteer, part-time, and on-call firefighters at this year's Fire Open House. Catch up on your fire safety knowledge with live demonstrations and hands-on activities. Chat with local businesses and resources about fire prevention, see some familiar faces, fight future fires, and make some new friends. The West Bloomfield Fire Open House, October 2nd from noon to 3 p.m. at Fire Station 1 on Orchard Lake Road. Mark your calendars for the 11th Annual Family Fun Night at West Bloomfield High School. Stop by on Friday, September 16th at 5 p.m. for an evening of free, fun activities as we honor our military, police, and fire heroes. Plus, stick around to see Laker football take on Clarkston at 7 p.m. To find out more, scan the QR code on your screen.
All right, welcome back to Laker football right here on 89.3 Lakes FM, lakesfm.com. Here comes Stony Creek. They run the ball right at the middle of the 27, 26 down to the 25-yard line. Again, a good run right at the middle, very close to a first down.
And again, just a great play by the offensive line, giving just enough space, and then credit to Fogler, too, to be able to pinch his way through that hole, kind of trot a little bit and slow down his speed to be able to make a play out of what he was getting from his right tackle and his right guard.
So it's going to be first down and 10, ball on the 25-yard line of West Bloomfield. Taylor in the shotgun. Two receivers to the left, but they want to run it right up the middle, and nothing doing. Lakers there with a big stop, and a great job that time by Jeremiah Smith to be able to penetrate in the backfield and come up with a sack.
Yeah, Smith has been having a nice game so far. Made a nice tackle earlier on
Taylor
as well, and support 6
in the shotgun. Receiver, two receivers to the left, but they want to run it right up the middle, and nothing doing. Lakers there with a big stop, and a great job that time by Jeremiah Smith to be able to penetrate in the backfield and come up with a sack
for West Bloomfield as we head into the thick of the schedule.
So we're waiting for the play to set up. Instructions coming in here for the bench. It's going to be second down and 12 here for the West Bloomfield Lakers. Ball on the 27-yard line, actually, for Stony Creek. Sorry about that. Stony Creek wants to run it right up the middle, and again, nothing doing there, and a great job. And another sack, good penetration in the backfield by Kari Jackson.
Yeah, Brandon Davis-Swain also there. Same thing with Kamani Wells.
Lakers.
Also, and you see
ball on the 27-yard line, actually, for Stony Creek. Sorry about that. Stony Creek wants to run it right up the middle, and again, nothing doing there, and a great job. And another sack, good penetration in the backfield by Kari Jackson.
Yeah, Brandon's able to get to him there, and a well-designed play by the Lakers, and great communication, too, from the edge rushers and that primary attacking linebacker in Kari Jackson, who's visiting Michigan State this weekend along with his fellow linebacker Montel Johnson as the Spartans take on Akron in East Lansing.
All right, so third down now, and a huge third down for the Laker defense. Third down and 11. They pass and screen it again. This time incomplete, and it out of the hands of the receiver. Almost picked off by Samaj Morgan, but a good stop on third down. And we'll have to see what Stoney Creek can do. Maybe they can make a long field goal for themselves.
All
right, so third down now, and a huge third down for the Laker defense. Third down and 11. They pass and screen it again. This time incomplete, and it out of the hands of the receiver. Almost picked off by Samaj Morgan, but a good stop on third down. And
really nice throw there from Justin Taylor.
All right, so it's fourth down now, and looks like this is going to be a very long field goal attempt. A 43-yard field goal attempt now by Stoney Creek. Snap, the kick in the direction it might be, and it is good. A 42-yard field goal for Stoney Creek. And they get on the board 3-0. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. You're listening to Laker Football on 89.3 Lakes FM at lakesfm.com.
Hey Laker fans, do you know a friend or neighbor that volunteers in Greater West Bloomfield? We would love to help you recognize them at the 51st Annual Michigan Week Awards. Countless members of the communities of Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield give their time and talent daily without regard for recognition. You can help recognize these individuals and organizations at our awards breakfast next year on May 12, 2023. Nominate your neighbor or organization starting January 28, 2023. Go to michiganweek.org for details. Plan a day out, enjoy an exquisite dinner, or soak in the atmosphere at Orchard Mall in the heart of West Bloomfield. Between Maple and Orchard Lake Road, capture the moment at Frameable Faces. Wrap up your back-to-school shopping at Guys and Gals, or get presents for your pet at Premier Pet Supply, and so much more. Visit the Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield, and consider visiting November 26th for their Small Business Saturday. Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield.
All right, welcome back to Laker Football here at 89.3 Lakes FM, lakesfm.com. So, Stoney Creek draws first blood. It's 3-0 here. Now the Lakers are back to receive the kick. Samaj Morgan picks it up on the near side. He had a big run back last time. Let's see what he can do here up to the 20, 25, 30, still on his feet, 35, 40. One man to beat at the 50-yard line. He's passing 40, 30. Samaj Morgan with a great block. Picked up by Samaj, and Samaj Morgan's going to walk it into the end zone. And Tyler is waving goodbye. Stoney Creek. Touchdown, West Bloomfield.
I mean, after a couple of blocks, it's just night-night for the Stoney Creek Cougars special teams front. Samaj Morgan gets any sort of space, very similar to Donovan in the past couple of years ago, and Dylan a year ago. A little bit of space is all he needs to get a whole lot of field in front of him, and he lets his speed take the rest of it.
All right, so it is 6-3. We'll fix our score at the bottom of the screen. Sorry about that, everybody. With about 9:16 to go here in the second quarter, Lakers strike. And, Tyler, the Lakers have had no time on offense in this game. They've had two amazingly long run backs by Samaj Morgan and a couple of offensive plays. We haven't even had a full offensive series yet. Now the Lakers are going to try to kick the extra point here. And the snap is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So it's your West Bloomfield Lakers 7, Stoney Creek 3 with 9:16 to go until halftime. Dave Scott and Tyler Keefe, let's take a look at, well, we'll pick up the replay when we get an opportunity to. But thank you very much for tuning in and being a part of our television broadcast here tonight. And Tyler, this, we're a little out of sorts getting all of our video stuff working. We're still working on it. This is a weird football game right now, and that's great for Stoney Creek.
Yeah, it is, and this is kind of playing right into their identity. Stretch the clock out, go at this team, a little bit of a war of attrition, and play a game where you're making the other team think on their toes. That's what the RPO, the run-pass option, does, and especially when you have a quarterback like Justin Taylor who can anchor this offense both in more of a run-pass option or just a speed option kind of an offense, or in more of a traditional we're running or we're passing offense out the shotgun or under center. That versatility, that experience, and a well-placed game plan as well from Coach Merlo definitely playing a factor for Stoney Creek.
Well, Stoney Creek's been able to really do a great job in their passing game. Seth Lumen is such an imposing figure. They screen out to him, and then it's just him and a defensive back who is ill-equipped to take down a guy who is huge. They're not going to take one guy from the Laker backfield is not going to be able to take him down.
No.
All right, so Lakers Krauthammer will kick the ball off from the Laker 40, leading 7-3. It's a high kick. It's going to come down around the 15-yard line and returned up to the 25, up to the 30, 31-yard line, and that is where the Cougars will start their next campaign. It is your West Bloomfield Lakers leading right now, 7-3.
Yeah, this has been a back-and-forth game. Both of these teams using their skill sets a bit to their advantage. West Bloomfield, the athleticism coming into play so far. And like you said, not a whole lot of offensive game so far for West Bloomfield. They're able to get a couple nice plays in, set up that passing game, and then they got some lightning there on both sides of the field. Samaj Morgan and Deontay Pippen.
And what's really unusual in the return game for the Lakers tonight is that Samaj Morgan is being very patient on these runbacks, letting the guys in front of him set the blocks, and they just can't stop him. They haven't stopped him twice. It's going to be a problem for Stoney Creek tonight. So here comes Stoney Creek now. The Cougars are on the field, 1st and 10. They're on their own 30-yard line, and here they go. Let's see what they do with it on this drive. Taylor, the quarterback, takes a snap. They hand it off, try to run it inside, and a good stop by West Bloomfield's Wellens, who comes up with the tackle. No gain there.
Hey, one of those guys that's been rising up this depth chart since week 1. Got a few early
line, and here they go. Let's see what they do with it on this drive. Taylor, the quarterback, takes a snap. They hand it off, try to run it inside, and a good stop by West Bloomfield's Wellens, who comes up with the tackle. No gain there.
Hey, one of those, man, he plays a very strong technical linebacking game for West Bloomfield.
So they give him a gain of maybe a half a yard. They'll put the ball on the 22-yard line, and we'll call it 2nd down and a long 9 for Stoney Creek. Stoney Creek, they split their offense up this time. They got a couple of receivers out of the near side, one up top. Folger in the backfield along with Taylor. They hand it off to Folger. No, they fake it. Now they pass it to the near side, incomplete. They're going to call pass interference on West Bloomfield's Bryce Rowe, who had his arms all around the receiver, Tyler.
Yeah, and that kind of is
time. They got a couple of receivers out of the near side, one up top. Folger in the backfield along with Taylor. They hand it off to Folger. No, they fake it. Now they pass it to the near side, incomplete. They're going to call pass interference on West Bloomfield's Bryce Rowe, who had his arms all around the.
Looking at that throw and making a pass.
So not a spot foul in high school, but a 10-yard penalty. And that's going to be a 1st down for Stoney Creek after the Laker pass interference. It is a spot foul, but it's a 10-yard spot foul, not a 1st down wherever the ball is, wherever the infraction happens. So they put the ball, you know what I mean. They put the ball on the 46-yard line as Stoney Creek. They'll have the ball 1st and 10 now after the Laker pass interference call. 7-3, your West Bloomfield Lakers with the ball. 7:02 to go until halftime. Stoney Creek, 2 receivers split out to the right. Quarterback Justin Taylor takes a snap. They hand it off in the middle, and again, the Laker defense is right there. Great stop that time off the bottom of the pile, Xavier Davis.
Yeah, having a big season for the Lakers.
Stoney Creek, 2 receivers split out to the right. Quarterback Justin Taylor takes a snap. They hand it off in the middle, and again, the Laker defense is right there. Great stop that time.
And this run-pass option, that's going to open up that second level for some pass plays, especially if they start running some crossing routes and get some of their guys that have been really involved in the passing game the last few weeks. Andrew Napolitano, Andrew McNamara as well, Sam McDermott involved. That could be very dangerous for the Lakers attacking the backfield so aggressively.
Stoney Creek, 1st and actually 2nd and 11 after the short run. They run it right up the middle again, and they're not going to get anywhere. And all excited about that tackle. And the stop is Rob Harris of the Lakers jumping up and down.
Yeah, Rock also visiting MSU this weekend, along attacking the backfield so aggressively.
Stoney Creek, 1st and actually 2nd and 11 after the short run. They run it right up the middle again, and they're not going to get anywhere. And all excited about that tackle. And the stop is Rob Harris of the Lakers jumping.
He just loves to play the game of football. Dave.
So it's going to be 3rd down now, and we'll call it 11. Ball on the 46-yard line of Stoney Creek. Lakers leading 7-3, 5:23 to go until halftime. Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe, and the whole crew. We're here all season long. Next week, Clarkston back at home in West Bloomfield. Make sure you come out. It's family fun night. Going to be a lot of fun. Taylor wants to throw, under pursuit, breaks out of the pocket, got a man open way downfield, airs it up. Who's going to come up with it? Almost intercepted by West Bloomfield, but unable to come up with a pick that time is Rob Harris, who was right there. Doing that. Going to be a lot of fun.
Justin
Taylor wants to throw, under pursuit, breaks out of the pocket, got a man open way downfield, airs it up. Who's going to come up with it? Almost intercepted by West Bloomfield, but unable to 8-6,
Hey, look, from this angle, they looked alike.
That's why we got the instant replay, the TV crew here. So a great job by the Lakers, almost coming up with an interception. Now it's going to be 4th down and a must-punt situation. If you're Stoney Creek, you're wondering, what do we do? Well, you want to do if you're Stoney Creek is kick the ball out of bounds. The last thing you want to do is kick it anywhere near Samaj Morgan, because that is not working well for you. Let's see what happens here. Getting ready for the punt. Kick is up, and it is right in the direction of Samaj Morgan. He'll get the ball at the 10-yard line. Let's see what kind of magic he can do this time. Breaks around the first guy, 10, 15. Now he's going to be wrapped up. No, he breaks free at the 20, up to the 23-yard line. Looks like they had him corralled, but Samaj Morgan made something out of it, got a few extra yards.
Initially, they're having Andrew McNamara chase him down. Put your speed guy on their speed guy. Your wide receiver on their wide out on that kick return. Finally, he escapes. He escapes a couple more times, and that's when the strategy comes into play. Get as many blockers up the field in range of the sideline where Samaj Morgan is going, and hope he doesn't have enough room to shift back to the other side.
So, look at this. We have the Laker offense on the field, ladies and gentlemen.
It's like an old friend that's come back to town.
One of the first times in the first half, Lakers start this drive at their 23-yard line. Quarterback Rick Nance. Screen pass to Samaj Morgan. He's open at the 30, 35. Tries to break free at the 40. Little stop and go. Gets to the 45. Knocked out of bounds at the 47-yard line. And a screen pass to Samaj out of the open field is almost as good as a kickoff return.
Yeah, and maybe that's a design play, or maybe that is their answer.
Quarterback Rick Nance. Screen pass to Samaj Morgan. He's open at the 30, 35. Tries to break free at the 40. Little stop and go. Gets to the 45. Knocked out of bounds at the 47-yard line. And a screen pass to Samaj. About 4 minutes and 45 seconds to go until halftime. Nance all alone. He's got a spread offense here. Nance all alone in the backfield, looking for somebody downfield, getting good protection. Throws the ball wide open at the 50-yard line is the Lakers' Kenny Jones. The receiver, this time, normally running back, is able to come up with a big play, gets it all the way down to almost the 30-yard line for a first down.
Ken Rice talked about this on This Week in Laker Football. Having a tight end.
The offense here, Nance all alone in the backfield, looking for somebody downfield, getting good protection. Throws the ball wide open at the 50-yard line is the Lakers' Kenny Jones. The receiver, this time, normally running back, is able to come up with a big play, gets it all the way down to the 32-yard line at Stoney Creek. Lakers leading 7-3, 4:18 to go until halftime. 1st and 10 for West Bloomfield. Again, the Lakers are in the spread. Rick Nance all alone in the backfield. Nance looking, getting good protection. Now he's going to keep the ball, tuck it in, and go take the ball himself. 30, out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
And that is just a good, smart play by the junior quarterback. He's in the pocket. He's got all the time in the world. He looks up the field. Okay, my receivers are guarded, but they're in space, and they have the size advantage.
1st and 10 for West Bloomfield. Again, the Lakers are in the spread. Rick Nance all alone in the backfield. Nance looking, getting good protection. Now he's going to keep the ball, tuck it in, and go take the ball himself. 30, out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
And that is just a good positive yards in the rushing game.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 4. Lakers on the 31-yard line of Stoney Creek. Jaws runs it right up the middle. He's going to get close to the first down. I don't know if he quite got it, but a gain of 2 or 3, and we'll wait for the officials to rule on this one.
Junior right guard Jamar Johnson, the key block there. He is just shoving that D tackle upfield about 10 yards to give his rusher an opportunity. Great play again by this offensive line, who really are able to create such great holes for their team by just using their size advantage and that technique advantage that they have from all that chemistry and all those years of experience in the trenches on a championship level team.
So it's 3rd and nothing. I'm just thinking maybe the Lakers are going to throw it into the corner of the end zone, but probably not. In fact, it looks like the Lakers are going to snap the ball directly to the running back. Jaws takes it over the top of the pile and gets a first down. That looked like the end zone jump, Tyler.
It did, and some of these high school fields, they have a track around the perimeter. That's not the case here at Stoney Creek, but that doesn't mean that.
In fact, looks like the Lakers are going to snap the ball directly to the running back. Jaws takes it over the top of the pile and gets a first down. That looked like the end zone jump, Tyler.
It did.
So it's going to be first down for the Lakers. They have not yet moved the chains, though. We have a penalty flag. I don't know if we can look at that again, that replay one more time, see if we can pick it up. But the officials are having some kind of a conversation, and I don't know exactly what it was, Tyler, but a little bit of conversation about that. And we'll wait and see what the call is here right now. Still some talk with the coaching staff of Stoney Creek, so not quite sure what's going on there.
They call it personal foul on West Bloomfield. That's going to set the Lake Show back 15 yards off of that play for third down.
In fact, looks like the Lakers are going to snap the ball directly to the running back. Jaws takes it over the top of the pile and gets a first down. That looked like the end zone jump, Tyler.
It did.
I did see that helmet pop off.
Yeah, the helmet came off of Gianmarco Lachurco. Maybe that was a Laker-induced helmet loss.
Whatever it is, it's a big penalty for West Bloomfield. They had a first down. Now it's going to be third down and about 15 to go. They place the ball on the 35-yard line. Lakers need to get a little less than 15, down to the 22 of Stoney Creek for first down. They wind the clock. 3:23 to go. Nance back in the pocket, wants to throw, got a man open toward the end zone, incomplete, overthrew Deontay Pippin Jr., incomplete, and it's going to be fourth down.
Yeah, miscommunication on the route. That's exactly what that was. Deontay Pippin
of Stoney Creek for first down. They wind the clock. 3:23 to go. Nance back in the pocket, wants to throw, got a man open toward the end zone, incomplete, overthrew Deontay Pippin Jr. Was cutting inside. So had he been in the corner of the end zone, that toss was right there. So the Lakers, I wouldn't be shocked to see them to go. That's exactly what they're going to do. Nance in the backfield with Kenny Jones. Fourth down, 12. Nance wants to throw, looking for somebody, getting a great amount of time for protection. Now he gets some pressure. Pass off, almost intercepted, and it is on a tip at the 18-yard line. Stoney Creek will get the ball, and they might have been just to go. That's exactly what they're going to do. Nance in the backfield with Kenny Jones. Fourth down, 12. Nance wants to throw, looking for somebody, getting a great amount of time for protection. Now he gets some pressure. Pass off, almost intercepted, and it is on a tip.
In the secondary as well to keep Rick Nance's options very low. And then Nance is outside the pocket. He's kind of just trotting along. Meanwhile, there's a defensive lineman that is tracking him down. You're not going to get that kind of time, and you have no options. You just got to throw that ball.
And, you could try and coach this, but the toughest thing to do is when you have a clear interception, even if it's not going to work out well for the team, and you're going to be 10 or 20 yards back than you would be if it was incomplete. It's so hard to not go for that interception.
And for me, for West Bloomfield, it goes back to that penalty. That penalty is huge because you got about 3 minutes left in the half. I think you really got to score on that drive. You're going to get the ball in the second half. Stoney Creek's going to kick off. You have a chance to put that game away. They are really milking the clock offensively.
So Taylor hands the ball off. They run it inside, and they are milking the clock, Tyler. They're just as happy to run it up the gut, get a yard or two. It's going to be second down and 9 for Stoney Creek. Lakers with all of their timeouts, but just about 3 minutes left in this first half, and surprisingly, it's 7-3.
Yeah, for these two teams who have been scoring so heavily on other squads and who have such potent offenses and skilled offenses, particularly in those skilled positions, quarterback, wide receiver, running back, this low score, it would be a surprise. But then you look at the defenses of these teams, a couple of veteran teams and one that's really looking to establish its identity in the OAA Red.
When man split out to the near side, they fake the pass and want to throw a quarterback in the backfield. He's going to break free now and keep it, and he gets it out to the 47-yard line, still on his feet at the 48-yard line, and that is Justin Taylor, who actually got around the corner on Samaj Morgan. Split out to the near side. They take the pass and want to throw a quarterback in the backfield. He's going to break free now and keep it, and he gets it out to the 47-yard line, still on his feet at the 48-yard line, and that is
supporting hit as well from Jonathan Gabriel to take down the quarterback.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 now. Stoney Creek, quarterback keeper. Gain of about 3 or 4 yards until the quarterback runs out of bounds, Justin Taylor. And, he's got some great moves in the backfield.
I've said it a million times. Nick Merlo changed up this playbook, added different schemes, added different plays for this quarterback because of his proficiency in the run-pass option. That's really causing this Lakers team some problems tonight because he is such a proficient quarterback in this style of offense, and because West Bloomfield, being that front seven is so aggressive, that is really playing to the advantage of a quarterback of this kind of skill level in this offensive scheme, and being able to run out of the pocket, having that speed, having that elusivity that Justin Taylor has really played a big role for this Cougars offense so far tonight.
I would say the Lakers are a little bit out of sync, and you got to give a lot of credit to
it's all offense.
Stoney Creek, 2nd down. They run the ball up the middle. This time they get about a yard or two, and that is it. Laker defense right there to make the stop, setting up 3rd and 7.
Yeah, laying down the wood there was Kamani Wellens, the senior defensive back who's been lining up at linebacker all season long. That's why. He's a hard hitter. He's an aggressive player, and he's got
huge 3rd down right here. Lakers all bunched up on defense. There's 2 receivers split to the right side. Justin Taylor in the backfield. Wants to hand it off. Now he fakes it. He's going to throw downfield. He's got a receiver. And no pass interference call there. Nice job by the Lakers on defense. That was Lorenzo Williams.
Yeah,
receiver split to the right side. Justin Taylor in the backfield. Wants to hand it off. Now he fakes it. He's going to throw downfield. He's got a receiver. And no pass interference call there. Nice job by the Lakers on defense. That was Lorenzo.
Getting his first target tonight.
So it's going to be 4th down, ball at the 50-yard line. And Adams, I almost called him Adams. The Cougars, not yet, that's 2 weeks. The Cougars will likely punt the ball here. Lakers are going to get a chance to get the ball back. And this game has all been about Samaj Morgan. But no, they're going to go here on 4th down. So they bunch up the offense. Looks like they want to run it right up the middle. Laker defense are responding. And we get a timeout. And the Cougars actually take the timeout. I thought the Lakers were a little bit out of position there, Tyler, and maybe they were going to call a timeout, but Stoney Creek calls a timeout, and both teams get a chance to think about it. I'm Stoney Creek. I'm going to punt the ball here and see if I can get out of the first half, but I'm not going to kick the thing anywhere near number 2 for the Lakers.
Now, kick it to the corner. I don't care if it's out of the 10-yard line and you give up a few yards. So that keeps that ball away from number 2. You're keeping that ball away from the other side of the field. You're keeping another potentially 6 points off the board. Samaj Morgan's going to make a play, even if there isn't a play there. They've already seen that tonight. It's the reason that their 3-0 lead is now a 7-3 deficit.
So Lakers think that they're going to punt the ball. Samaj Morgan is standing back at the 27-yard lines to receive the kick. A little bit of discussion going on with the special teams here, and we'll wait and see. And that is, in fact, what is going to happen here. And look for this to be a punt, I think. It is. So coming out of the field now to kick is Emilio Vafreda Esparza, or something thereabouts.
La Fuerte Esparza.
The kick is up, and it is away from Samaj Morgan and out of bounds somewhere around the 10-yard line. They'll mark it at the 10. Great play by Stoney Creek. That's exactly what they wanted to do. It's going to be 1st and 10 now for the Lakers, and let's see if they can mount an offensive drive with about 1:20 to go until halftime.
And this is where you put hat on a hat. Our guys against your guys. Our speed versus your speed. I'm sending Deontay Pippen and Samaj Morgan yard. I'm giving the middle of the field to DeAndre Hill, maybe even just a couple quick crossing routes between DeAndre Hill and Trenton Allison, and see who's going to be able to get the ball. March up the field. He got all 3 timeouts.
In a lot of games at the college and the pro level, you look at a team that's been not on the field much at all, and you say, well, that's going to work out pretty well for the Lakers here. But the kids are playing both ways. Right. So you think about this, like Samaj Morgan has got to be exhausted. He's been playing defense the whole first half, and a lot of his other Lakers in this team are doing the same thing. nonetheless, here come the Lakers. Pippen split out to the near side. Not seen much from him. Samaj Morgan split out in the slot position. In the backfield for West Bloomfield is Ralph Rogers, along with the quarterback Nance. Nance getting some protection, now some pressure. He's got to find a hole, running up the middle. 10, 20, 30. Nance still on his feet and hauled down to the 40-yard line. And a nice gain for the Lakers on first down. That's a good first step.
I think what you hear on the sideline from Coach Grice
is Ralph Rogers, along with the quarterback Nance. Nance getting some protection, now some pressure. He's got to find a hole, running up the middle. 10, 20, 30. Nance still on his feet and hauled down to the 40-yard line. And gets it to Samaj at the 50, looking for a hole. Can't find one, gets a couple of yards at least, gets the first down for the Lakers. Under a minute to go, the Lakers have first down, and they do stop the clock there, but the Lakers have first down.
Rick Nance, you got the speed, you got the space there, and that's exactly what he does. Tons of field in front of him. Just put on the
spread offense. Nance gets it to Samaj at the 50, looking for a hole. Can't find one. Gets a couple of yards at least. Gets the first down for the Lakers.
Timeout. Give him some time. Talk over a play. You're beyond the 50-yard line now if you're West Bloomfield. And you have enough opportunity with 2 timeouts left to make some big plays, move up the field. If you have to run the ball in an evasive manner, you're able to still stop the clock. And if you have to give that ball up, limited amount of time for Rochester Hills, Stoney Creek to march back up the field.
If you've not watched the Lakers yet this year, they have a very potent, big threat, long ball passing game. Not only Samaj Morgan, but the guy we've not seen much tonight is Pippen, who is a speedster and can break free. So they lined up Samaj and Pippen last time. Samaj has been doing so good, but you just got to think at some point they're going to spread this ball around. Lakers are set up here in the spread offense. Ball on the 48-yard line of Stoney Creek. 48 seconds, mark it 50 seconds left to go until halftime. Pippen spread out to the left. 3 receivers on the right side. Nance all alone in the backfield. Nance looking downfield, getting good protection, got plenty of time. Lakers still giving him time. Finds a man open at the 37-yard line, and that is going to be good for a Laker first down. That's the running back, Jones.
Yeah, they're just all that time to set up. It gives those secondary receivers, those running backs, those tight ends time to use the middle of the field, especially when everyone's focused on 2 and 7.
Clock is ticking. We'll pick up our clock here. We're a couple of seconds behind. Nance. Pass incomplete down to the 27-yard line, and that's going to bring up second down and 10 here. And a stop of the clock for the Lakers, a good thing. They can get things figured out here.
Yeah, they're in motion, turning backfield. Quarterback.
Nance looking downfield, getting good protection, got plenty of time. Lakers still giving him time. Finds a man open at the 37-yard line, and that is going to be good for a Laker first down. That's the running back.
The rash of wide receivers, that gives Jones the play.
3 receivers split out to the left. Jones in the backfield. 1 receiver off to the right side. Again, good protection for Nance. Throws down. He's got Samaj Morgan open at the 25. Samaj turns the corner at the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, West Bloomfield. Samaj Morgan.
Yeah, and again, using the middle of the field to the advantage. You send those guys to the sideline. You make those defensive backs bite on that play. On
receiver off to the right side. Again, good protection for Nance. Throws down. He's got Samaj Morgan open at the 25. Samaj turns the corner at the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, West Bloomfield. Samaj Morgan.
Yeah, and wide receivers.
And how huge is that? And this is how this team is developed. How huge is that for the Lakers to put those points on the board? And 6 more for West Bloomfield, 13-3. Let's see if they can make the extra point here. Comes a snap and the kick. And it is up, and it is good. Justin Moore puts another one through. So the Lakers now 14, Stoney Creek 3. It's a totally different ball game, Tyler. I mean, that was huge for West Bloomfield.
Yeah, it was. They absolutely had the score on this drive. I said it after their last drive was unsuccessful because of that penalty. That could have been a difference maker. Now 14-3 going into the half, where you're also going to get the ball on the other side. Now it comes down to special teams. Got to make that big stop.
And you know, it's a heartbreaker for Stoney Creek, because they come in, if they gone into the halftime only down by, in a 7-3, only down by 4 points, they would have had so much to be inspired about. They actually played an incredible first half and were able to deny the Lakers much scoring at all. That drive is the exception. So good job by West Bloomfield to get some points on the board right before halftime, and it's a totally different picture. Your West Bloomfield Lakers 14, Stoney Creek 3, and the Laker fans, a little sigh of relief over there on the far sideline. So West Bloomfield will come out here to kick. There's not much time left until halftime. Got about 22 seconds left on the clock. Krauthammer, the kicker for the Lakers, is out. One man back, actually two men back for Stoney Creek, standing on the 10. Krauthammer puts his toe into it. High kick, but a little short. Will come down at the 25-yard line. And we've got a penalty flag here. It looks like maybe offside on the kick, Tyler.
Yeah, we'll see what that could be. Really
it's
only
right in the line of scrimmage for the kick, so probably somebody jumped forward. Nonetheless, the Lakers are going to step back 5 yards to kick it again. Illegal procedure, yeah. So somebody jumped earlier, got ahead of the play there, one fashion or another. Krauthammer's going to go back. They'll put the ball now on the 35-yard line and kick it one more time. Looks like the Lakers with that last kick were happy to just get it high and do everything they can to avoid a return here, Tyler. See if they'll repeat that with this kick. Stoney Creek receivers now standing in the 20-yard line, and again, kind of short, comes down at the 20 or so. Run back to the 30, 35-yard line, up to the 40-yard line, the 43. Great return for Stoney Creek, and that's Kyle Parks. Has been having a fine night tonight.
Yeah, fine night in the special teams, and really playing a key role on the offensive side, too, as a decoy and as a blocker in the backfield. Not getting so many touches as he has in the first 2 weeks against Mumford and Bloomfield Hills, but still having a big impact in all three phases for Stoney Creek.
So a little correction on the clock. We've got 11 seconds left in the first half. Your West Bloomfield Lakers 14, Stoney Creek 3. Let's see what Stoney Creek can do. They have one timeout, and they have a long ball threat. Let's see what they do. They got three receivers split out to the near side, one up top. Quarterback Taylor's got a great arm and can also scramble to run the whole way on his own, is in the backfield. Taylor wants to throw, getting good protection, got a man in the flat, in and out of his hands, incomplete at the 47-yard line. I think some people might have thought there it was a completed pass and then the ball bounced, but incomplete pass, so says the officials. I don't know if they're going to reset the clock at all or not because of that. Board clock is down at about 2 seconds. So it's going to be second down now. They say completed pass after all that, Tyler. Ball at the 47-yard line is Stoney Creek. 2 ticks on the clock left. One play for Stoney Creek. Lakers have their safeties all the way back on the 25-yard line. And see if Justin Taylor's got a big arm and can put something up here in the last play of the first half. Taylor getting a lot of pressure. Gets out of the pocket. Isn't going to find any opportunity there. He is going to be tackled for a loss for the Lakers, and that is going to be the end of the first half. Your West Bloomfield Lakers squeak out a touchdown right at the end of the first half and lead going into halftime 14-3. I'm Dave Scott along with Tyler Keefe. Halftime coming up. Don't go away. You are watching and listening to Laker football on 89.3 Lakes FM and Civic Center TV and all of our affiliates all over the internet. We'll be right back.
Wake up, Greater West Bloomfield. Start your mornings with The Splash and tune in for The Splash Live. Get acquainted with people, places, and activities that are live, local, and for you. First thing in the morning, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. on our Civic Center TV YouTube page, or watch us live at Civic Center TV or on Facebook. The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live update show. Fire Prevention Week is just around the corner. Join volunteer, part-time, and on-call firefighters at this year's Fire Open House. Catch up on your fire safety knowledge with live demonstrations and hands-on activities. Chat with local businesses and resources about fire prevention, see some familiar faces, fight future fires, and make some new friends. The West Bloomfield Fire Open House, October 2nd from noon to 3 p.m. at Fire Station 1 on Orchard Lake Road. Mark your calendars for the 11th Annual Family Fun Night at West Bloomfield High School. Stop by on Friday, September 16th at 5 p.m. for an evening of free, fun activities as we honor our military, police, and fire heroes. Plus, stick around to see Laker football take on Clarkston at 7 p.m. To find out more, scan the QR code on your screen or visit wbsd.org/community/family fun night. Hey Laker fans, do you know a friend or neighbor that volunteers in Greater West Bloomfield? We would love to help you recognize them at the 51st Annual Michigan Week Awards. Countless members of the communities of Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield give their time and talent daily without regard for recognition. You can help recognize these individuals and organizations at our awards breakfast next year on May 12, 2023. Nominate your neighbor or organization starting January 28, 2023. Go to michiganweek.org for details. Plan a day out, enjoy an exquisite dinner, or soak in the atmosphere at Orchard Mall in the heart of West Bloomfield. Between Maple and Orchard Lake Road, capture the moment at Frameable Faces. Wrap up your back-to-school shopping at Guys and Gals, or get presents for your pet at Premier Pet Supply, and so much more. Visit the Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield, and consider visiting November 26th for their Small Business Saturday. Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield.
Welcome back to Laker football. It's the Laker football halftime show as your Lakers leading the Stoney Creek Cougars in Rochester Hills 14-7 after a late touchdown in the second quarter from Samaj Morgan.
Yeah, talk about that touchdown. I can't describe how big that was because that totally took the wind out of the sails of Stoney Creek. They were thinking they're all that in a cup of tea or whatever you say these days.
And rightfully so, because they had that big stop. That third down penalty cost West Bloomfield in Stoney Creek territory. They had to give the ball up. And that's the point where Stoney Creek can go down the field, maybe get a quick score, or even if they go into the half 7-3, ball game's in their advantage. They may go down by 11 points after an early score in the third quarter. But for West Bloomfield, you've got a chance to put this game completely in your hands and even maybe put it away early in the second half, in the third quarter, being that you get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, but what happened right before the end of the first half was the key. And when you need a big play, you want to go to your guy. For the Lakers, that's number 2, Samaj Morgan. And he was just Johnny on the spot. Let's take a look, Tyler. Why don't you describe what's going on?
So they send their receivers long. Pippen goes long. DeAndre Hill goes long toward the sideline. And that's where they kind of have that late crossing route from Samaj Morgan. He comes across the field. Look at him. He's going toward the sideline. They kind of cross him with DeAndre Hill. And the defensive back bites. He goes to DeAndre Hill. That leaves the middle of the field open for Samaj Morgan, and with tons and tons of space before those upfield blocks from Trenton Allison, which gave West Bloomfield the opportunity to put their biggest skill guy in the receiving corps, Samaj Morgan, in a position to get to the end zone.
And watch what happens, what he does here after he catches the ball. He's in the open field, got a nice block there, gets around that guy, and then here comes the big block right there.
Yeah, Trenton Allison.
Right, and then boom, touchdown. That was all about Trenton Allison, that touchdown. We're going to give it to Samaj, but that was a great block.
And that's really indicative of both these players. Samaj Morgan making these big plays, turning big opportunities into huge gains for the Lakers this season. And Trenton Allison, kind of that third option in the receiving corps behind Morgan and Pippen, but playing a really big role for the Lakers, an MVP-style role that's really underappreciated with those upfield blocks. That's something that coaches at all levels love, and that's the kind of thing that is often a difference maker in looking at the next level, and whether it's D1 or down the line. They want to see the guys that make the little plays. They do the little things that really help your team turn a good situation into a great situation, turn a first down into a into 10, 20, 30-yard gain, turn big gains into touchdowns, and that's the difference maker there.
You think back to the Donovan Edwards era, and whenever we needed something big, when the team was in trouble, when there was something going wrong, when things were out of sync, Donovan would come in and he would be the hero. There's a lot of heroes on this team, but certainly the hero tonight so far, Samaj Morgan. And really the big winner tonight is everybody. Look at the screen if you're watching on TV and listen on the radio as we are enjoying Friday Night Lights at its very best. We're here in Rochester Hills at Stoney Creek. The Cougars, what wonderful hosts. Let's just take a minute and watch and listen to their incredible marching band here at Stoney Creek. Well, Tyler, if you got a heart in your body and you like anything about athletics, high school community, this scene, you watch it, you listen to the band, you see all these people having such a good time on Friday night, and there's a huge crowd you can't see on the near side stands. And this is what Friday Night Lights is all about, Friday Night Football, and what a great scene here tonight. And you think this is cool. Just wait until next Friday night when we have family fun night in West Bloomfield. So much going on next Friday night. Of course, the Lakers will be taking on Clarkston. Hopefully we'll find out how they're doing tonight against Rochester Adams at some point. But you got a great football game. You got a team that everyone expects big things of. Our West Bloomfield Lakers will be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the West Bloomfield High School. I can't believe it's been 50 years. And then we'll also be honoring our first responders, the police department, the fire department, our EMS, all of the people that keep us healthy and alive. And then a lot of other people, some of the other radio stations will be there. And your favorite play-by-play and color crew, I heard they're going to show up as well. And I'm not talking about Dan Miller.
Oh. Boy.
So we'll be there as well, and we hope you come down to the parking lot off Orchard Lake Road. It's family fun night. It's a great tradition. We'll all be tailgating. It's a good day to tell your boss, I'm not really, I don't know, I ate something bad at lunch and I just can't, I got to go.
I told my boss that, and he said, you know what? That's great. Your voice will sound even better on color commentary.
So sneak out of work a little early. It'll be okay. Come on down. It all begins at 5 o'clock. Family fun night next Friday night. We'll be there broadcasting live. Should be a lot of fun, Tyler.
Yeah, and an update on that matchup just across town in Rochester Hills, Rochester Adams. That is the game of the week. It started a little bit earlier, a little bit later tonight because it's being broadcast on Bally Sports. That other OAA matchup between the Clarkston Wolves and the Highlanders of Rochester Adams, with just about 4 minutes left in the first quarter. And this was reported a few minutes ago from the D Zone live on site. Clarkston is leading number 3 Rochester Adams. 14 points for the Wolves, 7 for Rochester Adams in the first quarter.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye on that one. You know, I don't know if I want them all fired up and excited coming into West Bloomfield or not, but, you know, we wish the Wolves the very best. And Rochester Adams, what a great matchup. And we look forward to playing both of them over the next couple of weeks. It's the most exciting part of the OAA Red season when these three teams will all start facing off against each other. All of us rank high in the top 10. Well, certainly Adams and West Bloomfield and Clarkston, you never count them out. Some of the best teams in the state of Michigan right here, all competing in the same conference in Oakland County. For your West Bloomfield Lakers, we're leading tonight 14-3 here at Stoney Creek, and it's been no cakewalk. Stoney Creek has played a great game, and they've been able to handle the at times the Laker defensive line and move them, and really, Tyler, No one has been able to run against them and make the big holes and the big runs right up the center that Stoney Creek's been able to do. The other thing, they've had a nifty little receiver, Seth Lumen, who he looks more like a linebacker than a receiver. And they've been throwing to him, and then he's been getting the ball and just knocking bodies out of his way and putting on some big yardage. It's all ended up in a really good offensive first half for Stoney Creek, and Lakers pretty happy right now with their 14-3 lead here at halftime.
Yeah, and considering the way that those first couple quarters went, the fact that you're up 14-3, that's a huge bonus for the Lakers. It's been a tough 14-3. You've had to earn every single one of these points. 6 points in the special teams game from Samaj Morgan, another 6 points on the offense for him, and really seeing the offense at the end of that half starting to get its bearings under it, starting to understand how you're going to have to navigate this Cougars defense tonight, and really learning the lesson. You got to execute on every single offensive drive because we don't know how many we're going to get tonight with the way that Stoney Creek is managing the clock.
So I want to thank all of our sponsors tonight, and that includes Premier Pet Supplies. Really good to have you with us. Thank you very much to the Orchard Mall, the Michigan Week Committee. What's Michigan Week? An opportunity every May to honor the people that volunteer in our community, and we salute Michigan Week and remind people it's not too late, not too early to go to the Michigan Week website and learn a little bit more about Michigan Week and mark your calendar for May, and we'll all be together honoring those who volunteer. We always look forward to getting a lot of nominations. It happens very early in the year, so start thinking about somebody that you know in the community that helps, that volunteers, that makes the extra effort. We would love to learn more about them. Go to Michigan Week, and it's michiganweek.org, and we'll find out all the information. You'll be able to check it out and learn more about that. And I want to thank and give a big salute, a shout out to Deb and Ken Macon, who are also joining us on our broadcast. And through them, I think Deb would be okay with me using this opportunity to talk about her and Ken and how great they are. Ken's work at the library, Deb's work for literally so many organizations in West Bloomfield, including Michigan Week, and as a member of the Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission. They just said, hey, look, we're going to throw down a couple of bucks, say hello during the game, and so hello. And in addition to that, it's a good opportunity to remind you if you want to do the same thing, if you'd like to make a little announcement. It costs literally less than a couple of cheeseburgers, okay? All you got to do, and right? You're laughing at me, but all you got to do is go to civiccentertv.com/ads. Go there, and you'll find out more, and there's all the information in there about how you can be a part of it. We'd like to call everybody, but we're too busy doing these broadcasts. So call us, and we'd love to get you on the broadcast. So thank you to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do this without you. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. John Atwater at the controls. The Catone's doing a great job of the cameras. All the guys back at the studio, Calvin and Jared. So many people pulling all this together. It's a lot of work to put it all on TV, and we're loving every second of it. Your West Bloomfield Lakers 14, Stoney Creek Cougars 3. Back in a couple of minutes right here on Civic Center TV and Lakes FM.
Wake up, Greater West Bloomfield. Start your mornings with The Splash and tune in for The Splash Live. Get acquainted with people, places, and activities that are live, local, and for you. First thing in the morning, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. on our Civic Center TV YouTube page, or watch us live at Civic Center TV or on Facebook. The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live update show. Fire Prevention Week is just around the corner. Join volunteer, part-time, and on-call firefighters at this year's Fire Open House. Catch up on your fire safety knowledge with live demonstrations and hands-on activities. Chat with local businesses and resources about fire prevention, see some familiar faces, fight future fires, and make some new friends. The West Bloomfield Fire Open House, October 2nd from noon to 3 p.m. at Fire Station 1 on Orchard Lake Road. Mark your calendars for the 11th Annual Family Fun Night at West Bloomfield High School. Stop by on Friday, September 16th at 5 p.m. for an evening of free, fun activities as we honor our military, police, and fire heroes. Plus, stick around to see Laker football take on Clarkston at 7 p.m. To find out more, scan the QR code on your screen or visit WBSD.org. Facebook.com/community/family fun night. Hey Laker fans, do you know a friend or neighbor that volunteers in Greater West Bloomfield? We would love to help you recognize them at the 51st Annual Michigan Week Awards. Countless members of the communities of Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield give their time and talent daily without regard for recognition. You can help recognize these individuals and organizations at our awards breakfast next year on May 12, 2023. Nominate your neighbor or organization starting January 28, 2023. Go to michiganweek.org for details. Plan a day out, enjoy an exquisite dinner, or soak in the atmosphere at Orchard Mall in the heart of West Bloomfield. Between Maple and Orchard Lake Road, capture the moment at Frameable Faces. Wrap up your back-to-school shopping at Guys and Gals, or get presents for your pet at Premier Pet Supply, and so much more. Visit the Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield, and consider visiting November 26th for their Small Business Saturday. Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield.
Welcome back to Laker Football right here at 89.3 Lakes FM, lakesfm.com. You're also watching on Civic Center TV. And look at that beautiful shot of the moon and the birds and the fireflies and everything here at beautiful Stoney Creek. That is a live shot of right here just beyond the football field. Thank you to you for watching tonight. We hope you're enjoying our broadcast, and hopefully Laker fans will be howling at the moon when this one is all over with a big victory. Right now, things aren't going too bad to get ready to kick off the third quarter, Tyler. The Lakers are leading 14-3.
Yeah, and a big shout out to the Showtime Sean on YouTube, one of our currently 28 live viewers joining us on the broadcast. He asked about the touchdowns for West Bloomfield, who scored both of them. Samaj Morgan, kick return with about 9 minutes to play in the half, and then with 22 seconds left, of course, that play we talked about before the break. A nice pass across the flat to Samaj Morgan. Great blocking up the field from Trenton Allison, and those are the two touchdowns, both from number 2.
We've been doing a really big audience. We had YouTube, radio, TV, Facebook, then all the people that watch afterwards. Like about 2,500 people have been watching these games. That's absolutely amazing. Almost at about the same number it's been coming out to West Bloomfield. So we urge you to enjoy the games, watch them live, watch them after, and we hope you have a good time watching and following our West Bloomfield Lakers. Don't forget, too, at Civic Center TV, when we're not chasing around footballs, we do our very best to chase around everything else that's going on in the greater West Bloomfield community. If it's happening in Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, or what is that other community?
West Bloomfield.
West Bloomfield, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Then we try to report it. Did you know, speaking of that, in Pontiac, which, is almost our community, right next door, Christopher Cross is going to be performing Sunday. Remember, Chris, he did sailing.
I don't remember. It was about a little bit before my time. But I know
Ride Like the Wind and sailing and all those. Yeah. So he'll be here. Just one of the many things going on. We're letting you know what's going on in our community. Tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 9:30 in the morning. I'm there, some of the other crews there with the Splash Live, and then at 10 o'clock, Tyler Keefe there for an hour with the MegaCast. We hope you tune in, Tyler.
Yeah, first quarter is over across town at Rochester Adams. It was 14-3. It was 14-3 in favor of Clarkston. That ball game now is tied up 14-14 at the end of the first quarter.
All right, well, we hope our game doesn't go from 14-3 to 14-14 here. But I tell you what, anything could happen. We have seen a great performance in the first half from this team from Stoney Creek that has impressed me so much. They got a great quarterback. They're able to move the ball and run the ball. Their quarterback has been getting great protection when he decides to fade back and throw, and a very effective screen game to Seth Lumen and others. And this could very easily be a very different score right now. And the Lakers need to make some adjustments and really come out strong in the second half and not take this team lightly at all.
Yeah, you can't take this team lightly, and I think that the Cougars have proved it so far. Otherwise, you're going to have a situation where it goes from 14-3 to a tie ball game or a lead for Stoney Creek, and we've already seen teams can kind of get a jump on you early. That's what Clarkston did with their 14-7 lead on Rochester Adams under this harvest moon in the Rochester area, and hopefully for the Lakers, they're able to come out firing with that same intensity they had at the end of the first half against this Cougars team, especially because every single offensive drive is going to be critical, and these Cougars are going to run the clock out.
Hey, a couple of big thank yous. Downtown Calvin Brown, or do we call him Touchdown Calvin Brown?
Touchdown. For this season, he's touchdown.
Yeah, he's touchdown.
Sometimes upside down.
Upside down Calvin Brown. Doing a good job back at Green Media Center on Walnut Road and keeping us on the radio and TV there. And Jared, I'm sure he's hard at work too.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Michigan TV.
Yeah, making My Michigan TV and all of our streams work. Thank you very much. Great job tonight, John Atwater at the controls, getting you all these beautiful pictures, the moon, and there's Stoney Creek right there, and all the replays, doing a really good job. And the Catoni brothers under, the sunshine and the heat, doing amazing work as well, running our cameras. So thank you to everybody who worked so hard on making this broadcast happen. And, of course, Tyler, none of this happens without the great support of all of our communities, the people that live in them, and that is all managed by the Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission that operates Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. So if you're listening on the radio, watch it on TV, or just enjoying this broadcast anywhere and getting you that great shot of the harvest moon, a big nod and thanks to the Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission. So I think we've got all of that business taken care of now, and we can focus on football. I always like to take a quick look ahead before we get into the second half and talk about what else is going on this weekend. So the NFL is back. We've got big college football games. For U of M, they're taking on Hawaii. I mean, if there's anyone in the stands after the first quarter, I'll be surprised. Michigan, Hawaii, that's not really much of a game.
Now you may hear a train sound off in the distance. No, that is just the residual sound from Matt the Diesel Derry on the MegaCast earlier on this week, who referred to Hawaii as Hawaii High School. That's my new favorite nickname for him. That game's going to be easy for the University of Michigan. They might drop 100 on the Rainbow Warriors.
All right, I wouldn't think about commenting about your alma mater, so you get an opportunity to talk about Michigan State and their contest this week.
Got to have a bounce-back week this week. Look, you're able to beat Western Michigan last week by a sizable margin, but that game was way too close for comfort, especially late in the game, and I think the Spartans are aware of that. Mel Tucker said it last week. He came into the locker room, and the reaction was, hey, you know what, we won, but we're not satisfied with this. It's not a jubilant reaction to beating Western Michigan. You know you got to play a better game against them, and a chance to redeem yourself and make some improvements after week one at home against Akron.
And we're just hoping that on Sunday, when we go to watch football on Sunday, we can begin not ending our weekend from a football perspective with a disappointment. And I think the Detroit Lions are going to do just fine this year. You listen to the guys that talk it on Sports Talk Radio, read the columnists in the paper. Some people that would surprise you are really behind them in a big way. Predictions are the Lions are going to do anywhere between 6 and 9 wins this season. I think if they do that, that's good improvement, and they're moving their way down the road. I would love to see them just kill and surprise everybody. They got a tough contest, though, this weekend against the Eagles. Injuries on the offensive line. And, we're going to find out, a little bit about the Lions, but they got their hands full on Sunday.
Yeah, that offensive line situation might get ugly really quickly. Halapulivati Vaitai with a back injury, and those back injuries, especially at the NFL level, that's often a lot longer of a wait than is projected. Sometimes that could mean the end of the career for that particular player. And then for Frank Ragnow, also injured, maybe he's going to be moving over. Will he play?
So, real quick, we're going to get it on tape. How many wins for the Lions this year?
For the Lions, I'm kind of putting on the low end, putting them around 6. On the high end, around 8. I think that they're probably going to go 7.
Okay, 7. I'm going to say 8. We'll see what happens. And, I would love to see him do better. But it's going to be a great weekend for football. We hope you enjoy it. We've got a lot of football under the lights still here. It's West Bloomfield 14, Stoney Creek 3, and we're just ready to kick off the third quarter. West Bloomfield will be receiving the ball in the third quarter. And again, if you're Stoney Creek, don't kick the ball anywhere near in the direction of Samaj Morgan. He is on the near side, receiving the ball to the far side for West Bloomfield. Cannot quite catch, but they kick the ball way up to the up men. Smart move. It's picked up by Rob Harris at the 44-yard line. No return. Lakers are going to get good field position to start off the third quarter.
Yeah, and that's something we've seen the Lakers do in the past against a lot of teams that have formidable kick returners. Kick the ball short, maybe even squib kick it. That's exactly what Stoney Creek did. Not going to put that ball anywhere near Samaj Morgan or near any of the other kick returning players for West Bloomfield either.
All right, so here come the Lakers. They start out in their passing offense. They got Pippin split way up top on the near side. It's Trenton Allison all alone in the backfield. And the spread offense is your quarterback, Nance. 1st and 10, ball to the 45-yard line for West Bloomfield. Leading 14-3. Samaj Morgan, they spread him out to the left, but they decided to throw it downfield as he's covered really quite closely. Ball thrown incomplete, a little bit low in the direction of DeAndre Hill, incomplete.
Yeah, really just ran out of space there and had Samaj Morgan in a check down, didn't throw it to him, and Samaj Morgan really just didn't have a whole lot of room to move to restore that check down, so Rick Nance had to throw that ball away and tried to get it to DeAndre Hill, but double coverage up the field.
Pippin up top in the slot left side. DeAndre Hill trips right for the Lakers. All alone in the backfield is Nance. Nance takes the snap. Pass downfield in the direction of DeAndre Hill. Looks like he dropped it, but he catches it. Now he's going down the field to the 30, the 20. DeAndre Hill all the way in for a Laker touchdown and a big DeAndre Hill catch. And a huge run after the catch. And was that bobble of the ball, Tyler? Did that help set up that run?
A little bit. I mean, he had the catch, and he didn't necessarily bobble it as much as he kind of just took it and moved the ball into one hand, gripped the ball to move it around the defender, and give himself a little bit of space to move with the football. And then we see DeAndre Hill's speed. That's the thing. He's such an imposing figure for the Lakers at 6'4", 210, a great blocker, but he is really athletic for a tight end of that size.
All right, so the Lakers go now for the extra point. Kicking the ball for West Bloomfield with Justin Ward. Holding for the Lakers is Trenton Allison. Lakers leading 20-3, trying to put one more on. Snap, kick, looks clean, it's up, and it is. So the Lakers 21, Stoney Creek 3. 11:18 to go in the third quarter. You are watching Laker football. We will be back in just a minute after these words. Well, apparently we're going to be staying right here. That's just fine. So, Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe here with 11:18 to go in the third quarter. Lakers get on the board real quick, Tyler.
Yeah, really quick play there for West Bloomfield and showing the athleticism of DeAndre Hill. It's something that we talked about with Ken Rise earlier on this week on This Week in Laker Football, getting those tight ends involved. DeAndre Hill, Brandon Davis, Swain, they're able to write up some more schemes for them. This is something that the Lakers have really wanted to do in past years, but they haven't had the personnel for that. We saw late last year the emergence of DeAndre Hill. We obviously know the skill set of Brandon Davis Swain on the defensive side of the ball. Seeing him on the offense is more of a blocker, but DeAndre Hill, kind of that guy, a little bit of a Rob Gronkowski kind of a format in him. More athletic, however. He can play maybe a little bit more along the lines of a Kyle Pitts of the Atlanta Falcons.
Groundhammer kicks the ball off for West Bloomfield. Back to receive Parks and Folger. Kicked in the direction of Parks, but it's going to go over his head into the end zone. And Stoney Creek will start this campaign on their own 20-yard line.
And it goes back to what we said near the end of the first half. That score at the end of the half by Morgan, getting back on the board, so critical for West Bloomfield. Having that 18-point lead, especially if Stoney Creek wants to play the game where they're stretching the clock out. Now they kind of have to measure how they're going to do that. Maybe play a little bit more hurry-up offense and use their speed and the run-pass option to their advantage to try to inch back into this game while limiting the amount of time they take off the clock in the third quarter.
Well, Stoney Creek has weapons that they can use against the Lakers. Certainly did in the first half. This game it could be a lot closer than the score indicates right now. Let's see what they do when they come back out. They got the ball on their own 20-yard line. 1st and 10. 11:18 to go here in the third quarter. Run the ball right up the center. Had a nice run that time by Parks. Just finds a great seam right in the offensive line. dives through, gets a nice gain for about 3 yards on first down.
Yeah, just right up the gap, get a couple of yards. 2 or 3 yards is all you're really going to want to get there. And they know that's going to be a run West Bloomfield does, and Stoney Creek knows they're probably not going to get a whole lot out of that. So take the yards you can get on that dive play, especially when Lakers are loading up the box and they leave no safeties high.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 7, ball on the 23-yard line of Stoney Creek. Stoney Creek all bunched up. They do have one receiver split up to the high side. Justin Taylor wants to keep it, runs it left side, and he is stopped by the Lakers and thrown down to the ground by Rob Harris.
Yeah, Rob Harris, again, having a really nice game tonight. He's been becoming more aggressive as the weeks go on. He's been more in those support tackles, at least last week. Had a great week 1 against Sterling Heights Stevenson, and again, being a key player, particularly in the run defense for West Bloomfield before he heads up to East Lansing with Montel Johnson tomorrow.
So it's going to be 3rd down after a gain of 3, 3rd down and a long 3, maybe call it 4 yards to go for Stoney Creek on their own 27-yard line. Taylor with a loaded backfield. Fakes the handoff. They screen it right side again in the direction of Lumen. And that time the Lakers were not going to let him break free. They saw that 2, 3, 4 times in the first half. They respond well, but still a gain of about 3 yards. Sets up 4th down at about a half a yard.
Yeah, a little bit of hesitation from Lumen there as Samaj Morgan is pursuing the tackle. We'll see here as this play gets underway in the replay.
But we're going to get right back to it, Tyler. Sorry about that. Oh, here we go. Yeah, the Lakers just converged on him and didn't let him get away. So on a 4th down, though, they go for it. Stoney Creek does, and a nice run that time by John Folger, and he gets the first down, Tyler.
That's the point in the game where you're down 18 points. The Lakers offense has begun to really hit their stride. If you're on those 4th and shorts, you're going to go for it. You'll take the risk of giving the Lakers a short field. Put all the confidence you can in your offense. You got to keep the ball in your possession and try to shorten this lead for the opposing Lakers.
21-3, West Bloomfield with the lead. 8:52 to go in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 for Stoney Creek on their own 33-yard line. Taylor fakes the handoff. Now they do hand it off, and they run it up the left side. Right there to try to make the stop is Samaj Morgan. He takes the ball all the way, steals it, and he's running it all the way back. 20, 15, 10, 5. Laker touchdown. No reversal on that. No stop of forward progress. Samaj Morgan was just being dragged along, and he said, okay, you can drag me along, but I'm gonna take the football and go my way. Let's take a look.
And one-on-one with the quarterback, Samaj Morgan. He's able to just rip that football right out of Justin Taylor's hands and take it yard for a hat trick tonight, Dave. Touchdown in all 3 phases of the game for Samaj Morgan.
Well, I thought he was really getting beat on defense when he really couldn't bring down the running back Parks, but stole the ball away. A great effort by the Lakers. Ends up in another 6 quick points for West Bloomfield. So West Bloomfield getting ready to kick the extra point. Justin Ward there, getting the ball to be held by Trenton Allison. Here comes the snap. It's good. Kick is down, and it is good. So West Bloomfield puts one more point on the board. It's the Lakers 28 and Stoney Creek 3. We'll take a break. You're listening to Laker football and watching it on Civic Center TV and listening on lakesfm.com. We'll be right back.
Wake up, Greater West Bloomfield. Start your mornings with The Splash and tune in for The Splash Live. Get acquainted with people, places, and activities that are live, local, and for you. First thing in the morning, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. on our Civic Center TV YouTube page, or watch us live at Civic Center TV or on Facebook. The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live update show. Fire Prevention Week is just around the corner. Join volunteer, part-time, and on-call firefighters at this year's Fire Open House. Catch up on your fire safety knowledge with live demonstrations and hands-on activities. Chat with local businesses and resources about fire prevention, see some familiar faces, fight future fires, and make some new friends. The West Bloomfield Fire Open House, October 2nd from noon to 3 p.m. at Fire Station 1 on Orchard Lake Road.
Welcome back, Laker football right here at 89.3 Lakes FM, lakesfm.com. Hey, the Lakers kicked the ball off, and the return is brought by Stoney Creek up to about the 26-yard line. That's where Stoney Creek will start their next campaign. 1st and 10. Stoney Creek having trouble right now, Tyler, in almost aspects of this football game.
Yeah, they're really starting to get behind themselves now. West Bloomfield just absolutely starting to fire on all cylinders against Stoney Creek. They're executing offensively. This defense is getting momentum, and Stoney Creek starting to run out of time to really take some of that momentum back and make a run here. Now down 25 points a few minutes into the third quarter.
So it's the Lakers 28 and Stoney Creek 3, 8:41 to go in the third quarter. Don't forget, next week it's Clarkston at home in West Bloomfield at the Swamp. We'll be there. We hope you join us. Family Fun Night begins at 5:00 Rock out in the parking lot. Come on by. It's going to be a lot of fun. Moon is shining high. Down on the field, it's 1st and 10 on the 25-yard line. Stoney Creek and the quarterback, Justin Taylor. They hand it off right up the middle, and again, the Laker defensive line doing a really good job there. Not much of a gain at all. Coming up off the bottom of the pile, Brandon Davis-Swain.
Yeah, and this Laker defensive front, really loading up the box. They're not putting guys out as high safeties or in the defensive backcourt guarding these wide receivers. They know Stoney Creek wants to establish the run before they go to the pass. Establish the run so they can use the RPO to their advantage and make some of those bunch plays they made in the first half.
So it's 2nd down now and 8 on Stoney Creek's 27-yard line. Quarterback wants to throw. He's got a man open downfield. And a fight for the ball and a completion at the 30-yard line. What a great play there by Stoney Creek. And I'm not sure who came up with it. We'll try to catch it on the replay, Tyler. Here it is.
Yeah, just a fight between Stoney Creek's receiver and Jameer Benjamin of the West Bloomfield Lakers. Highly recruited in next year's class. Great pass by Taylor. Benjamin's fighting for it, and that ball is just pulled in by Sam McDermott, who had a really nice week last week for one receiving touchdown against Bloomfield Hills.
Taylor around the outside to the right, hit hard as he goes out of bounds. Penalty flag called, and we'll wait and see what that is, Tyler.
Yeah, Jameer Benjamin kind of turns back around when he finds out there's a flag there. Huge hit for the cornerback for West Bloomfield, with offers from MSU, Michigan, Central Michigan, Purdue, Penn State.
Fans are barking on both sides of the stadium right now. A lot of discussion. Coach Grice out there talking with the officials about this call. We'll see exactly what they have to say. Injured player down on the field as well. And a penalty against the West Bloomfield Lakers. Looks like, was it unsportsmanlike conduct against the Lakers?
It may have been a late hit. They called it. The play was near the sideline. Maybe the ball carrier is out of bounds when that hit was made. It was also kind of a high hit from my vantage point by Jameer Benjamin. And all those things are something that may trigger the Zebras to make a penalty call.
All right, so it was right in the sideline. Those things tend to happen right around there. And tough penalty against West Bloomfield. Stoney Creek now with an opportunity to get back in this game. They are knocking on the door in the Laker red zone. They have the ball on the 15-yard line of West Bloomfield. 1st and 10, trailing 28-3. 7:35 to go in the third quarter. Justin Taylor, the quarterback, huddles up with his offense. Here they come. Stoney Creek all bunched up. Looks like they want to run it. Taylor, screen pass over to the right side. They've been doing that all night. It works again for them. Gain of about 6-7 yards. Knocked out of bounds at the 5-8 yard line. I'm not so sure that was Seth Lumen, but that's the run and the play and the screen pass they've been running all night long that's been working big time against the Laker defense. They don't quite get a first down. Second down and inches to go here for the first.
Yeah, quarterback pulled the ball. He threw it outside. He had Fogler and got a nice pass.
So second down and nothing to go here. Taylor takes the ball. He's going to run it right up the middle. He gets a first down and a little bit more, down to about the 3-yard line. And it's going to be first and goal for Stoney Creek now.
Yeah, Cougars taking one out of West Bloomfield's book, putting their running back there, primary back, and John Fogler in the Wildcat formation, direct snap, and he's just going to take it right up the middle, put his shoulder down, and try to get that ball inching closer to the end zone.
So first and goal to go now for Stoney Creek. They have been off the board since the first quarter. They're knocking on the door, threatening to score right here. They run it right up the middle, and a great second effort and push. No indication yet from the officials. Very close to the end zone, but they do not quite get in, just short of the goal line, Tyler.
Yeah, and a great stop for West Bloomfield. Darian Hicks, the junior linebacker for West Bloomfield, junior safety for West Bloomfield, gets in on the tackle.
So here we go. It's going to be second and very little to go. Second and the ball on the half-yard line, almost right, nosed up to the goal line. Taylor pushes forward into the end zone, and it's Stoney Creek touchdown.
Yeah, get that bunched offensive line there, pinch to the middle, and start pushing forward. That's exactly what they've been doing on these runs all night long, and it gets the quarterback Taylor in the end zone. Look at this here. Lining up 7 guys on the offensive line, Taylor and 3 running backs to give them that push.
So Stoney Creek gets exactly what they needed, some much needed offense and scoring, and it's 28-9 West Bloomfield over Stoney Creek. Stoney Creek now going for a 2-point conversion here. Let's see what they do. All bunched up. They want to run it, and it looks like they're going to be very close, but the Lakers are going to stop them. And a good job by a whole swarm of Laker defenders on the Lakers special teams unit. And we'll watch a replay right here. But of all people coming up off the bottom of the stack, Samaj Morgan, I think. Just amazing. He is on, no, I'm sorry, that was Jameer Benjamin. And he just was able to get in there and slow that thing down.
Yeah, Brandon Davis swing kind of grabs the jersey, starts to pull back. Then you have the attack from Samaj Morgan, some support from Jameer Benjamin, a great team tackle to prevent Stoney Creek from getting on the board with 2 points and making this a true two-score game, 13-point deficit. Now instead, it's 15 points, and they're going to have to score 2 at some point.
Well, you just got to get some momentum going if you're Stoney Creek. Yeah. You got to do something to fire up your fans and fire up your team. You're up against a powerhouse like West Bloomfield, and you go essentially 2 quarters without getting any scoring. And now you've just come back with a big, long, sustained drive with a nice, very long throw that was the feature play of the drive, and that's going to fire up the troops in the sidelines. And there is a lot of time to play. 6:11 to go here in the third quarter. Now under the lights in Stoney Creek, West Bloomfield and the Stoney Creek Cougars here. Next week we're back at home, West Bloomfield and Clarkston. Always a great matchup when these two teams get together. So Stoney Creek will kick the ball off. Back to receive for the Lakers. I can see Samaj on this side. They kick it away from him, and again, they're going to kick it out of bounds. And they're just done kicking the ball to the Laker return men, including Samaj Morgan.
I mean, just across the board, it's killing them. Samaj Morgan's speed, his agility, his ability to start and stop with the great acceleration, that athleticism is deadly. And then those upfield blocks have been there, too, for the Lakers on the special teams front. It's been well executed, and Samaj Morgan's having a game. A hat trick in touchdowns today, 1 touchdown in each of the 3 phases of the game. Offense, a receiving touchdown, defense. He had that forced fumble touchdown just a few minutes ago on Justin Taylor, and, of course, that long kick return for a touchdown in the first half.
So West Bloomfield's offense is back on the field. They'll set the ball at the 41-yard line of West Bloomfield, where it will be 1st and 10 for the Lakers. Lakers go spread. 4 receivers out on the right side, including Trenton Allison. Nance takes the snap, fakes the screen, goes back the other way. Now he's going to run the ball, tucks it into the 40, 45, at 50, gets a first down to the 47-yard line of Stoney Creek.
Yeah, kind of using those old linemen up the field as a way to guide him. He's looking particularly at Dallin Henry, at the center, as he gets up the field. See, he runs out of the pocket. He runs around the other side. It's a great block that was made by Jamar Johnson. And Dallin Henry running up the field, looking back at his quarterback. Where should I be running to kind of provide a screen? Not an illegal block in the back, but a screen that allows my quarterback to get a hold to run.
Pippen split out to the far side for the Lakers. In the backfield is Jaws. They fake the handoff, pass to Samaj Morgan on the other side. Spin move at the 40 after the completion. Still on his feet, but can't get any traction. And for once, they are able to bundle him up and bring him down at the 40-yard line. But a really nice pass and catch from Nance to Samaj Morgan.
Yeah, Stoney Creek loads up 6 in the box. They only send the D-line. Lakers also put a couple extra guys in the backfield, line up a tight end on the offensive line, and give that extra bit of protection to Rick Nance after a contain was broken on the previous play.
So it's going to be second down and 1. Samaj split out to the left. To the right, wide is Pippen. They're going to run this thing right up the middle. And a nice run by West Bloomfield's Kenneth Jones at third. Good enough for a Laker first down.
Yeah, keeps his feet chopping, puts his head down, gets a shoulder into it, and a good push also from the offensive line. Just running 5 this time, but they also add into the backfield Brody Picourt, the backup quarterback, coming in for an extra block too.
Good call, Tyler. First and 10. Ball on the 34-yard line of Stoney Creek. 5:19 to go until the end of the third quarter. The Lakers 28, Stoney Creek 9. Jaws runs it up the middle, gets a nice little hole from the old line. Good for about 3 or 4 yards. And you get 3 or 4 yards on first down. That's pretty good, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you really need. You do that 3-4 times, you're going to be getting the first down, Dave.
So it's going to be second down. We'll call it a long 6, ball sitting on the 31-yard line. Lakers wait for instructions of the bench. They line up in the spread. DeAndre Hill switches over to the left side. On the near side is Pippen. In the slot for the Lakers is the receiver, the running back Jones. All in the backfield is Nance. Wants to throw, getting good protection. Pass is complete at the 25-yard line. And a really nice Laker reception that time by Trenton Allison.
Yeah, finally getting his due. A lot of key plays in the blocking earlier on in the game as a receiver for Trenton Allison. And this time, this takes a little bit of an out route, maybe 5-10 yards. Yeah, about 5 yards, fakes in, runs back toward the opposite sideline, and gets a nice catch.
First and 10 for West Bloomfield, moving the ball down the field nicely. They're on the 22-yard line of Stoney Creek. 3:51 to go in the third quarter, 28-9. Lakers. Pass, right side, in and out of the hands of Pippen, who was falling to the ground as the pass came in his direction. Too bad because he was all alone and ready to make a move to the end zone and turn on those afterburners. Incomplete pass, though. Yeah. Second down.
Wasn't really able to see from from my vantage point what happened on the route running there for Deontay Pippen. And what I'm guessing is he's cutting back toward the quarterback. That ball's coming in quick, and he's just got to make a move at it. Kind of falls forward to try to get in range of the ball with his hands, and it just kind of bounces off.
Pippen over to the far side in trip receiver set along with DeAndre Hill and Trenton Allison. On the near side, Samaj Morgan. In the backfield is Jaws along with the quarterback, Nance. Nance screens it out, in and out of the hands of Pippen again. 2 plays in a row. He's really having trouble getting a handle on the ball.
Yeah, he's going to come to the sideline, talk that over with the wide receivers coach, talk that over with Coach Grice, maybe take a couple plays off. As again, that's right between the numbers there from Nance to Deontay Pippen.
You know, and there's a little bit to be said. You could just see that Nance, it's a 10-yard pass, and he put everything he had on. He's got such an arm. Sometimes you want to get it out there quick, but maybe a little bit of finesse on that pass might have made it a little bit easier. So it's third down and 10 now. On the near side, Jalen Jackson Samaj on the far side. They're looking at Samaj. Now they're going down to the corner for the Lakers. Incomplete, thrown in the direction of DeAndre Hill, but a little overthrown. A lot of pressure on Nance that time. He had to get rid of the ball a second or two before he wanted to.
And that's one thing that Rick Nance is really working on, is placing that ball as he throws. He's got such a cannon of an arm. He's so accurate also. But he's got to be able to kind of temper how hard I'm throwing that football when I'm lobbing that football. Like you said, a little bit of finesse.
Here's the other thing that I like on that play is he really did not have an open receiver in the corner of the end zone, but he might have just thrown that thing away. And, last year we would have seen him scramble and look and scramble and look and keep looking for somebody to get open. And sometimes just got to throw the ball, get rid of it, and try again. Now the Lakers will get the ball on 4th down. Let's see what they do here. On the 22, 4th down and 10. The 22 is Stoney Creek. Nance looking for somebody. He's got a man open in the middle of the field. Caught! Touchdown! There's DeAndre Hill all alone as he splits the defense and comes up with 6 for the Lakers.
Yeah, again on the board. DeAndre Hill, not yet to get all too many receptions on the season. Not any touchdowns in the first 2 weeks. Instead, gets 2 in week 3 on the road as the Lakers enter OAA play here. Rick Nance has a nice time in the pocket. DeAndre Hill runs a nice route and just gets right up the middle. A couple of guys out there, a couple of safeties high enough and able to defend that play, but perfectly thrown ball and a great ran route.
Justin Moore getting plenty of opportunity to kick the ball through the uprights tonight. He's setting up now for the extra point. The ball to be held by Trenton Allison. Here comes the snap. And, they fumbled the snap. Now Trenton Allison's got to do something. He's trying to throw the ball into the end zone, looking for a receiver. Incomplete. Bad snap. Trenton tried to make something happen of it, but no point there for the Lakers. We're going to go to a break. It is your West Bloomfield Lakers. Let's stay here and catch a replay and see exactly what happened. You're just going to see it's just a bad snap there, Tyler. And Trenton does everything he can. I think he does a nice job sweeping out there and getting that pass off, but nothing doing there. Incomplete, and the Lakers 34 and Stoney Creek 9. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back in a moment. Thank you for watching. This is Laker Football. Back after these.
Mark your calendars for the 11th annual Family Fun Night at West Bloomfield High School. Stop by on Friday, September 16th at 5 p.m. for an evening of free, fun activities as we honor our military, police, and fire heroes. Plus, stick around to see Laker football take on Clarkston at 7 p.m. To find out more, scan the QR code on your screen or visit wbsd.org/community/family fun night. Hey Laker fans, do you know a friend or neighbor that volunteers in Greater West Bloomfield? We would love to help you recognize them at the 51st Annual Michigan Week Awards. Countless members of the communities of Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield give their time and talent daily without regard for recognition. You can help recognize these individuals and organizations.
Welcome back to Laker Football here on 89.3 Lakes FM, lakesfm.com. And Lakers, after a penalty, get another shot at the extra point. They decide to go for 2, and they get it. So on top of everything else, give the Lakers a couple of more points and a 2-point conversion for them. And it's West Bloomfield 36 now and Stoney Creek 9 in the closing minutes here of the third quarter.
Yeah, that's a direct snap to Kenneth Jones. He takes it around the left tackle. Nice spin move at the end, but great blocking to hold that defensive line on a 2-point conversion and get in for 2 points for Jaws.
So thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you're with us next Friday night. It's going to be a big one, Tyler. Clarkston and West Bloomfield. It's always fun with these two teams to get together. Usually they're undefeated. We'll see how that works out. Maybe not this year, but it's going to be a great game. West Bloomfield and Clarkston Family Fun Night, big tailgate. We're going to be at West Bloomfield High School in the parking lot. We hope you come by and join us. Should be a lot of fun. We'll be celebrating the 50th anniversary of West Bloomfield High School and our great Laker football team. Come by, honor the first responders in our community, and meet a lot of wonderful people. There'll be a lot of giveaways and fun for the family and kids. It's next Friday night, 5 o'clock in the parking lot at West Bloomfield High School Family Fun Night, a tradition in our community. And we look forward to seeing you there. Tyler and I will be there broadcasting live.
And in Rochester at Rochester Adams, just a couple minutes left in the second quarter, a few minutes left in the second quarter, that ball game tied at 28.
Well, that is an unsettled matter then, Tyler.
Yes.
We may very well be seeing an undefeated Clarkston, right?
It's possible.
All right. So that is very interesting. We'll keep an eye. It sounds like that game's going to end after our game, likely. So we'll keep an eye on that as we draw to the closing moments of this.
Yeah, that is the Valley Sports Game of the Week. So that started a half hour later, 7:30 kickoff for Adams and Clarkston.
Listen, and if it was anybody other than Valley, I would tell you to stop promoting their game in the middle of our game. But we love those guys. They've been really great to us. And you know, why not? What you could do is you could put your computer with our game on and then turn Valley on your TV. If you're a real high school football junkie, you know, why not?
Right.
All right. We love those guys. Good luck to Clarkston and to Adams, and we look forward to seeing both of you in the coming weeks. Kick by West Bloomfield is high down to the 15-yard line after the Laker touchdown. Nice return by Adams. You got a penalty flag, though, on the return. That flag, though, came from an unusual position on the field behind the Laker kicking team, so we'll see what it was. Usually you see those holding penalties are block in the back, but they usually come from one of the officials behind the returning team. We'll see what this call is all about here. They place the ball at least temporarily on the 40-yard line of Stoney Creek.
Might be 12 men on the field. I'm trying to make out what he's saying. Nope, it is a holding call on Stoney Creek.
All right, well, there you have it. So that's not going to work out really well for Stoney Creek. They'll march the ball back after a really nice return. One of the most frustrating penalties in all of football, because usually it is such a big, onerous penalty as this one is, Tyler, and just really hurts and very frustrating after a really nice run back to have him knock the ball back 20, 30 yards.
I mean, you can do almost everything right, and the opposing team can do a couple things wrong. You get a nice bunch play on the kick return, and one incidental piece of contact can be considered a hold, and throw it back.
Stoney Creek with the ball, 3:10 to go in the third quarter, and they just try to run it right at the middle and nothing doing there. The entire Laker offensive line there to make the stop, no gain, 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, coming off the bottom of tackle, Darian Hicks, the junior safety, 6 foot, 185 for West Bloomfield, coming up the depth chart today. Also seeing Rock Harris and Kari Jackson get involved. Sorry, Jackson and Wellens, they're linebackers who were involved in that tackle. Brendan Davis-Swain also down there in the bottom of the pack as well.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 10. We've got a player down right now for the Lakers. It looks like a cramp. This is the time of game where we see a lot of this. With a player down, we're going to take a break. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back in a moment. We appreciate you tuning in across Facebook, YouTube, Civic Center TV, listening on the radio, and, of course, watching on CivicCenterTV.com. We'll be right back.
Mark your calendars for the 11th annual Family Fun Night at West Bloomfield High School. Stop by on Friday, September 16th at 5 p.m. for an evening of free, fun activities as we honor our military, police, and fire heroes. Plus, stick around to see Laker football take on Clarkston at 7 p.m. To find out more, scan the QR code on your screen or visit wbsd.org/community/family fun night. Hey Laker fans, do you know a friend or neighbor that volunteers in Greater West Bloomfield? We would love to help you recognize them at the 51st Annual Michigan Week Awards. Countless members of the communities of Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield give their time and talent daily without regard for recognition. You can help recognize these individuals and organizations at our awards breakfast next year on May 12, 2023. Nominate your neighbor or organization starting January 28, 2023. Go to MichiganWeek.org for details. Plan a day out, enjoy an exquisite dinner, or soak in the atmosphere at Orchard Mall in the heart of West Bloomfield. Between Maple and Orchard Lake Road, capture the moment at Frameable Faces. Wrap up your back-to-school shopping at Guys and Gals, or get presents for your pet at Premier Pet Supply, and so much more. Visit the Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield, and consider visiting November 26th for their Small Business Saturday. Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield.
Welcome back to Laker football right here at 89.3 Lakes FM and LakesFM.com. Dave Scott, Tyler Keith Lovin covering high school football in the fall in your West Bloomfield Lakers. Lakers in a commanding 36-9 lead here in the third quarter at Stoney Creek. It's been a great football game, though. And Stoney Creek now 2nd down and 8. Tyler's got a scoring update. We'll get to that in just a couple of minutes right after this play. Stoney Creek, pass inside, caught, complete, good for a first down. Thrown in the direction of Zach Powell. Tight end comes up with a big one, Tyler.
And a big tackle for R.J. Hayes, junior linebacker for West Bloomfield. That scoring update from Rochester Adams. 46 seconds left in the second quarter. Michael Hine for Clarkston, their quarterback this year, makes a nice pass to Cole Jarvis for 6, 35-28.
Right.
Number 20 Clarkston over number 3 Rochester Adams with seconds to play in the half.
I'm sitting here wondering who I want to win that game.
Yeah.
And I'm having a hard time being excited for either one.
Yeah, on the one hand, you get Clarkston, who could come into West Bloomfield next week with
fired up. Yeah.
Fired up, or you can go into Rochester Adams with them having a chip on their shoulder. They lost to one rival. What are they going to do to the next one?
Well, it's staying tonight's game. Stoney Creek, 1st and 10, screen to the right side, good for a completion and a gain for 3-4 yards. That one's been working for them well all night long. Lakers are there with big-time defense and a great tackle that time by Darian Hicks. Look at him just lay into the receiver on this play.
See guys coming up on the depth chart over the last few weeks on the defensive side. Kamani Welland's one of those guys you're thinking of, and tonight, all eyes have been on Darian Hicks. He's having a really nice game for West Bloomfield. Coming up the depth chart, we're going to see him and be calling his number a lot more throughout the season for the Old Boys.
Nice play, though, by Stoney Creek. 2nd down and 6 after a gain of 4 on first down. To place the ball on Stoney Creek's own 44-yard line. 36-9 in the final minute or so of play here in the third quarter. Stoney Creek with the ball. They run it right up the middle, and this time a nice stop by Kari Jackson. After a gain of about 1, Kari puts a stop to it.
Yeah, ranked number 6 in the state for the class of 2024 by rivals. Offers from the University of Michigan, Michigan State, Penn State, Kentucky, West Virginia, and more. And on the season, great performance so far. Last week was critical on the defensive side. 9 solo tackles, 6 assisted tackles, and a sack among his 4 tackles for a loss, or TFLs, against the Harper Woods Pioneers.
Our clock is about 10 seconds out of sync with the game clock. We'll just fess up to that. So it's about 10 seconds left here, and that's going to be it for the third quarter. They're going to let the clock expire. So after 3 quarters of play, it's your West Bloomfield Lakers 36, Stoney Creek 9. We're going to take a timeout, and we'll be back with the fourth quarter. Stoney Creek marching the ball down the field. We'll see what happens when we return. You're listening to and watching Laker football.
Wake up, Greater West Bloomfield. Start your mornings with The Splash and tune in for The Splash Live. Get acquainted with people, places, and activities that are live, local, and for you. First thing in the morning, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. on our Civic Center TV YouTube page, or watch us live at Civic Center TV or on Facebook. The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live update show. Fire Prevention Week is just around the corner. Join volunteer, part-time, and on-call firefighters at this year's Fire Open House. Catch up on your fire safety knowledge with live demonstrations and hands-on activities. Chat with local businesses and resources about fire prevention, see some familiar faces, fight future fires, and make some new friends. The West Bloomfield Fire Open House, October 2nd from noon to 3 p.m. at Fire Station 1 on Orchard Lake Road.
Welcome back to Laker football right here at 89.3 Lakes FM, lakesfm.com. Stoney Creek and a big run down to the 20, 15, 10-yard line. I totally missed that, Tyler. I was just bringing us back from the break, so we'll watch the replay here and see exactly what happened. Direct snap all the way back right into the hands of John Fogler, and he just takes off and goes.
Yeah, luckily they were able to have a speedy guy like Lorenzo Williams, future Western Michigan Bronco, chase him down before he got in the end zone.
So 36-9, Stoney Creek is marching down the field now, and they are knocking on the door in the red zone. Ball is placed in the 12-yard line of West Bloomfield.
It's going to be a run.
Again, they run the ball right up the middle. I don't think that was Taylor in there.
No, that was direct snap to Fogler.
Yeah, it was. And didn't work out as well that time. Gain of only about a yard or 2, and that's it.
Yeah, using that wildcat formation, bunch the blockers, put some power in the backfield, get it to your speed running back, try to open up a hole, and go for 2 for 2 on those bunch plays.
Yeah, in fact, Taylor was out for that play. He's back in now. Quarterback checks back in for Stoney Creek. Second down and about 7 to go. Sweep right. Lakers pick it up, and a nice tackle there by Kari Jackson after a gain of about 3.
We're really seeing these linebackers out in coverage be more patient. Early on in the game when they were seeing this RPO, they were jumping immediately to put pressure in the backfield because that's what they've been doing the first 2 weeks. Now we're seeing guys like Kari Jackson and guys like Montel Johnson and others that are in the linebacking core kind of take a step back, wait for the play to develop, and then jump on the ball.
And look at as big as Kari Jackson is. Look how mobile he is and how quick he is at the ball.
Yeah, he is a true athlete, Dave.
All right, 10:21 to go in the contest. Lakers 36, Stoney Creek 9, knocking on the door. Waiting for the placement of the ball here. They'll put it on the 8-yard line. Third down at about 5. Clock is ticking. Here comes Stoney Creek out on the field. Don't seem to be in any big rush to keep the offense moving quickly. I want to talk to the coaching staff about this very important play. Taylor wants to throw, bunched up. He's going to be caught in the backfield. Great pursuit by West Bloomfield. Big old blitz. Rob Harris with the stop.
Yeah, Bryce Rowe gets in on the sack, but Rob Harris critical in that support on the opposite side. Look at this again. No safety time. They're not worried about the end zone. This is all about the run. Watching the quarterback, that patience on the other side. Rob Harris waits. He just waits, and then he puts on the pressure. Bryce Rowe is coming around the other side after that play becomes a run. A nice cornerback tackle.
So good job by the Laker defense, and it's going to be a big fourth down. Got to go. Fourth down and 10 now after the loss of a couple of yards in the play. They'll put the ball on the 12-yard line of West Bloomfield. 8:55 to go in the contest. Man in motion. Taylor, quarterback, wants to throw into the end zone. Got a lot of pressure now. Looking for somebody downfield. He's going to have to keep it. Here come the Lakers, and he is swallowed up by Brandon Davis-Swain.
Yeah, it looks like he had an opportunity for Kyle Parks there, and then that play quickly swallowed up in the secondary, and Brandon Davis-Swain, the Punisher, gets in the backfield and punishes Justin Taylor after that play breaks up. He runs outside the tackles. That ball is just swallowed up. The receiver swallowed up. Just a quick missed tackle on the dive by R.J. Hayes II, but sets up enough space and enough of a slowdown for the Punisher to get in on the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been either one of those guys. Really good pursuit of the quarterback in a must-throw situation. And when the Lakers know that you're going to throw the ball, I mean, they're going to put some hurt on you, and you better have a great offensive line. And at this point of the game, as it's getting later and later, it gets harder and harder to defend those guys who've been punishing you all night. So the Lakers end up with the ball now. First and 10, they are on their own 12-yard line, and we still have the quarterback in the game for the Lakers, Rick Nance. Nance standing behind the line of scrimmage, counting at players, waiting for some instructions from the bench. Two receivers split to the near side, two receivers up top. Looks like Ken Jones in the backfield with Nance. Here comes the play. Lakers break free of the run. 40-yard line, 50-yard line, 60-yard line. 70-yard line. No, wait a minute. That's not true. Touchdown. West Bloomfield. Say goodbye to Kenny Jones. He, you know when you look at him, he's kind of a stocky, really well put together guy, but he's got some speed.
And upfield blocks again, playing in there. Speed for the Lakers in the receiving core. Chasing that ball. Josh Tillman makes a nice block and gives Kenneth Jones just that extra little bit of space to get to the end zone.
Let's watch it set up just one more time. We get just a little extra time here.
Yeah, again, Tillman chasing down
That was a great block right there. That was a great block right there.
Napolitano had him. That ball's back at the 25. If Josh Tillman doesn't make that big block on the junior defensive back, Andrew Napolitano.
So 6 points for the Lakers, 42-9 now. And West Bloomfield, we've got an official timeout here. We're going to take a break as well. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. Your Lakers 42, Stoney Creek 9. This is Laker football on 89.3 Lakes FM and lakesfm.com.
Hey Laker fans, do you know a friend or neighbor that volunteers in Greater West Bloomfield? We would love to help you recognize them at the 51st Annual Michigan Week Awards. Countless members of the communities of Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield give their time and talent daily without regard for recognition. You can help recognize these individuals and organizations at our awards breakfast next year on May 12, 2023. Nominate your neighbor or organization starting January 28, 2023. Go to michiganweek.org for details. Plan a day out, enjoy an exquisite dinner, or soak in the atmosphere at Orchard Mall in the heart of West Bloomfield. Between Maple and Orchard Lake Road, capture the moment at Frameable Faces. Wrap up your back-to-school shopping at Guys and Gals, or get presents for your pet at Premier Pet Supply, and so much more. Visit the Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield, and consider visiting November 26th for their Small Business Saturday. Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield.
Welcome back to Laker football here on 89.3 Lakes FM, lakesfm.com, Civic Center TV, YouTube, and the likes. Rochester Adams with a nice stop on the two-point conversion attempt for the Lakers. So, nothing doing there. Nonetheless, it's 42-9. Your West Bloomfield Lakers in control. You know, Tyler, people are going to look at the score and go, yeah, West Bloomfield, there they go one more time. I'll tell you what, this is a really good Stoney Creek team. And this program's going to continue to get better, and they're playing very well tonight. They're going to knock off a bunch of people this season.
Yeah, Stoney Creek's going to be a contender in the OAA Red. You look at the top of the league, and you're thinking West Bloomfield, Rochester Adams, Clarkston. But the middle of this lead, the middle of this division is also really strong with Rochester Hills, Stoney Creek going to be there, Lake Orion and Oxford kind of vying for that next spot there with Rochester Hills, Stoney Creek. Needless to say, even those teams that are going to be losing some of these tough games to West Bloomfield and to the Rochester Adamses and the Clarkstons of this division, the OAA Red is still a stacked division. Any of these teams get into the playoffs, they can do a lot of damage against teams.
You know, and then you're in a division. Admittedly, this is Division I football, and it's going to be tough no matter where you are. That said, the OAA Red is, you just got to look at it as an elite division in Division I. There's a lot of talent here. There are at least two, if not three teams every year that are going to not just make it into the playoffs, they're going to go deep. So when you consider the caliber of the teams that are playing each other, it's really good for all of them, and the programs continue to develop. And any of these teams that get into postseason at any level can really make some magic in postseason. Nice kickoff down to the 15-yard line. Adams with another great return, and they've been doing great on special teams all night long. And another really good example with a fantastic return that time by Andrew Napolitano.
Yeah, Napolitano almost had a big stop on that Jaws touchdown run, and there makes a nice kickoff return. Didn't get that stop because of a great block up the field by Josh Tillman, but able to answer back. Forget about that last play. Focus on the here and now and make the play this time.
So it's the Lakers 42, Stoney Creek 9, 8:31 to go in this contest, and what is an absolutely beautiful night at an incredible facility for football here at Stoney Creek. Tyler, this is as nice as it gets in high school football, and we really appreciate the opportunity to broadcast here. Hold on, Tyler's got a scoring update. We'll get to it in just a couple of minutes after we get to this play. West Bloomfield and Stoney Creek, 1st and 10. Stoney Creek with the ball on the 29-yard line, their own 29-yard line. They run it right at the gut. Nice hole by the offensive line of Stoney Creek. Good for a gain of about 3 or 4 yards, and a nice little gainer there by, I believe that was John Fogler. Tyler, you got something?
Last we heard from the Clarkston and Adams game, it was 35-28. Adams got the ball back on the last drive before the half, and with 15 seconds left in the second quarter, a touchdown on an interception from safety Cole Jarvis puts the Wolves in the lead, 42-28.
Whoa, that's a big
halftime.
big halftime play right before halftime. You turn the ball over right before halftime, give the other team 7 when you're in a tight contest. It's 2nd down and 6 here at the other Rochester school. Run up the middle. They fake the screen pass out to the right side to Parks. It's been working good all night, and then they run it right up the middle. Lakers aren't fooled, though. Really not much of a gain. In fact, even a loss of maybe a yard on that play. Let's take a look.
Yeah, fullback there for an extra blocker. They put Parks in motion. They hand that ball up off the middle, but just a good jump around the outside for Blake Simmons, the senior linebacker, coming off the bench there to make a nice play.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 4 now for Stoney Creek on their own 34-yard line. Pass, complete, caught, and good for the first down. Great pass, and a really nice completion that time by Zach Powell.
They put 8-9 guys in the box. You're gonna load that up. Let's see. That defensive line, 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. You got the 3 linebackers. That's 7. You got Rock on the outside. It's 8 rushing the quarterback. It's all about the run.
So Stoney Creek comes back really quick. They fooled everybody. They're going to get a touchdown out of it with a really fast, incredible run by Parks. Taking it in. Actually, Folger taking it in for a Stoney Creek touchdown. So we'll see if we can catch that one. There it is. Nice job by the offensive line. He finds a big hole. And goodbye. Stoney Creek was 6.
Yeah, John Fogler just sees that big gap open wide up and gets there for a nice touchdown. Nothing but open field, and he puts on the afterburners. I mean, like another one of those running backs that's a little bit, not quite too imposing, but a speedy guy that's able to also play physical ball.
Well, a great job by Stoney Creek, and they're not giving up, Tyler. They are not giving up. This game, it's going to be tough for them to catch up, but they are not giving up. And there's still time. We'll see what happens. 42-15, going for 2, and they will be denied by the Lakers on the 2-point attempt. But it's West Bloomfield 42. Stoney Creek put 6 back on the board. 15, 6:21 to go in the contest. We're going to take a timeout. You are watching and listening to Laker football.
Mark your calendars for the 11th annual Family Fun Night at West Bloomfield High School. Stop by on Friday, September 16th at 5 p.m. for an evening of free, fun activities as we honor our military, police, and fire heroes. Plus, stick around to see Laker football take on Clarkston at 7 p.m. To find out more, scan the QR code on your screen or visit wbsd.org/community/Family Fun Night. Hey Laker fans, do you know a friend or neighbor that volunteers in Greater West Bloomfield? We would love to help you recognize them at the 51st Annual Michigan Week Awards. Countless members of the communities of Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield give their time and talent daily without regard for recognition. You can help recognize these individuals and organizations at our awards breakfast next year on May 12th, 2023. Nominate your neighbor or organization starting January 28th, 2023. Go to MichiganWeek.org for details. Plan a day out, enjoy an exquisite dinner, or soak in the atmosphere at Orchard Mall in the heart of West Bloomfield. Between Maple and Orchard Lake Road, capture the moment at Frameable Faces. Wrap up your back-to-school shopping at Guys and Gals, or get presents for your pet at Premier Pet Supply, and so much more. Visit the Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield, and consider visiting November 26th for their Small Business Saturday. Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield.
Welcome back to Laker football on 89.3 Lakes FM, lakesfm.com. Tyler Keefe, I love a high school football game where neither team give up. Forget the score. Neither team is giving up tonight. That's certainly the case with a very gutsy Stoney Creek team. It kicks an onside kick. Let's see if they can get control of it. It did not go 10 yards. Lakers will get the ball, but again, you got to give them a lot of credit. And what a great, great run by John Folger. He is as fast as anybody else in the field, and that was a really nice touchdown on that last drive for Stoney Creek.
Yeah, and like you said, just fighting on every down. Look, it's easy to be down by several touchdowns, to be down 28-9, to be down 28-3, and give up in the third quarter, give up in the second half, and not keep playing hard. But that's exactly what Stoney Creek is doing. And this is a tough team, a competitive team that's got a bright future ahead of them.
42-15, your West Bloomfield Lakers in the lead. They've got the ball now. Great field position after the onside kick attempt. Lakers will start this drive in Stoney Creek territory on the 46-yard line of Stoney Creek. West Bloomfield with the starter still in the game. Nance in a quarterback. High snap, he keeps it. Sweep right, gain of about 3 or 5 yards. Yeah, 5-yard gainer for the quarterback on first down.
It kind of ran out of space, ran right into his lineman, but still, 3-4 yard gain. You're going to take that. You get that three, 4 times, 4 downs. You're getting the first down every single time. So no matter who's running the football, you're getting 3-4 yards per carry. You're doing something right.
So it's going to be second down for the Lakers. Waiting to see who's going to be in a quarterback on this play.
It looks like
Nance is out.
Now Pecor's in. That's Brody Pecor, the backup quarterback.
All right. Pecor runs right.
He hands that off to Rogers.
Okay, hand to Rogers from Pecor. Thank you, Tyler. And a loss in the play.
Yeah, it looks like after putting Rick Nance out there for the first play of this series, Tyrese Grice, Ken Rise and company said we're content to take the starters out, get those guys down the depth chart, some more reps against the first team defense. It's been really tough on the Lakers this game tonight.
So Pecor, the quarterback for the Lakers now, Brody Pecor, a sophomore, 6 foot, 185-pound quarterback, has looked very good in the other games we've seen this season. He's got the spread offense now. 4 receivers split out to the left for Pecor. He's standing on the 50-yard line. 3rd down and 10. Takes a snap. Under pressure, and he goes down hard with a sack. Yeah, it's always tough. Always tough for backup quarterback because you know they're going to bring the house.
Yeah, and they do. They load up the box. They show blitz on the weak side B gap. That doesn't really come to fruition. It's really the linebacker coming up through the middle. It's a double team on Pecor, but he makes a nice smart play. Look, he's out of room. There's no way to ditch that play. You're not going to run out of the pocket. Let it happen. Go down. Take the play. Move on to the next one. You got the lead.
Well, and they're going to take another attempt at it here. 4th down and 15 to go. Pecor will get another shot here.
Looks like a timeout called.
And it is. Timeout taken by Stoney Creek. We'll stop the clock here as well with 4:21 to go in the contest. And, again, I just like everything about Stoney Creek, Tyler. I can't help myself. Good time out there by the coaches to take an opportunity. And there's a lot of season in front of them. And they're going to be a 2-1 team right now in a really good position. And take advantage of every second of every opportunity. This game, you're not going to win this game tonight. But there is a ton to learn in the next 4 minutes.
Yeah, and going up against a team like West Bloomfield, keeping it close early on in the game through most of the first half, and still playing really competitive football against a team who had growing confidence, has tons of weapons. It had really hit their stride in all 3 phases. This has been an excellent showing for Stoney Creek. And if the first 2 games were any indication, this is certainly the icing on the cake here to show.
Pecor with Ralph Rogers in the backfield. He's got 3 receivers split out to the right, 1 to the near side, man in motion. Oh, actually, it's Nance back in there. He's looking for somebody downfield, throws the ball downfield, incomplete at about the 30-yard line. A lot of pressure even on the starting quarterback, Rick Nance. And the Lakers will give up the ball.
Yeah, kind of just giving them that opportunity to go for it on 4th and long. That's probably why you put them back in. Hey, we're going to have some of these situations coming up in the next few weeks. And probably close games. We need you to be able to play ball there and get your pass protections in place properly. Make a good play and make a big play against some of the tougher teams in the state of Michigan. Clarkston, Rochester, Adams, Lake Orion, Oxford.
Stick around tonight after the game. We hope to have an opportunity to get a camera down in the big scrum, the huddle after the game tonight. Listen to what the coaches and players have to say after this contest. Right now it's 1st and 10. Ball to the 49-yard line of West Bloomfield. Stoney Creek with the ball. Hand off and a nice run up the middle. Breaking free one more time is John Folger. He gets a big run and up for a first down about 11 yards after the last time he touched the ball, taking it to the house.
Here on the replay, Ball snap, the motion really helping in the backfield with the block. Kind of distracts the defensive end and gives Fogler a running opportunity to get the first down.
So Fogler gets it all the way down to about the 38-yard line of the Lakers. 1st and 10 now. Again, they run it they fake it to Fogler. Now they screen out to the near side. Another great block. That screen's working so well and complete and down to the 25-yard line. That time the ball run by and pass caught by Kyle Parks. But they really do a good job. They get the screen, Tyler, and they've had good blocking on this screen all night long. Blocking is all set up. What a great block right there. And that'll get you 10, 15, 20 yards every time, and it's been working all night.
And the cadence of the quarterback also playing a key role there is Brandon Smith on his blind side, the defensive end, chasing him down.
One receiver split to the right, one to the left, crowded in the backfield. Quarterback wants to pass, looking for somebody in the end zone. It's going to be overthrown. Really nobody open, and very wise right there for Taylor to just throw the ball beyond the reach of anybody and come back and try again.
I just love his poise in the pocket and even outside the pocket. Looking at him, he's just kind of looking around the field. He's not moving his head around all too much. His eyes are on a swivel. He's looking for whatever he's got to do. He sees there's no opportunity, but got your wide receiver in the corner there, Sam McDermott. Maybe can make an opportunity to get some space off the defensive back Durant, and if not, it's a dead play anyway. Throw the ball away.
2nd down and 10, ball to the 25-yard line of the Lakers. Justin Taylor, the quarterback. Hands off, they run it up the middle to Fogler. Again, he gets another nice run. No big breakout that time, but give him 10 yards. A 10-yard run for him looks like that was not a whole lot. He's been just tearing up the Lakers in the second half.
Second team defense out there, first team offense, an opportunity to see some new schemes blocking, see what works, work on the future, get some more reps in under you, and show what happens when you make your blocks, when you make good plays, and give your runner an opportunity to get some yards.
Gain of about 8, 2nd down and 2, ball on the 18-yard line. Again, they run it right up the middle. This time I think the Lakers are going, a second push. I tell you what, the running back didn't have any extra push, but then came in the entire offensive line right behind him and push, and nice first down.
And that's something we've seen all night. This offensive line is just putting in that extra effort. I mean, look at this. You got all that extra effort going in there. Jacob Kropchak making a big push there also, and that's something that I'm sure the folks at Notre Dame are going to love. And he's visiting this weekend at Notre Dame, Nebraska, the 1st of October.
So it's a 1st down now. Ball on the 12-yard line. Quarterback fakes, keeps, runs left, down to the 5, the 4. Nice run that time by Taylor. And he gets it down to the 3-yard line with the clock still ticking. Just a couple of minutes left in this contest.
He's a heck of a ball player, heck of a runner, too. Uses that quarterback's eye. He's got a great eye on him and is able to make really just a true playmaker for the Stoney Creek Cougars team.
So they can still get a 1st down without gaining it into the end zone. It's 2nd down and about a yard to go now. Ball is sitting on the 4-yard line. Stoney Creek all bunched up. They run it left in the sweep, and it's going to be a touchdown for Stoney Creek. A nice run there by Kyle Parks.
Kyle Parks has been getting a lot of touches later on in the game, but making the most of his runs, too. And finally able to get pay dirt there and have that really quiet game but important game paying off.
So Stoney Creek will come back, and there's about a minute left on the clock. Stoney Creek will go for the 2-point conversion with the Lakers leading 42-21. And it looks like they get in. We're waiting for the official signal. They do. 2-point conversion is good. So it's 42-23. West Bloomfield in the lead. A minute and 6 left to go till the end of this contest. We're going to keep it right here. And Tyler, again, just perseverance. And yes, I know we've got the second-team defense on the field, but perseverance by Stoney Creek to keep doing everything they can to move the ball and keep building on this season.
And putting these points on the board against a competitive team like West Bloomfield, shortening that distance, that's going to have an impact later on, especially if you're looking at this team, and I think you are, looking at this Cougars team as a playoff team.
Absolutely. So make sure you stick around. We got a great post-game show lined up for you tonight. We'll hear from some of the Laker players and coaches down on the field if all of our technology works, and we do expect it will. You got some good batteries in those microphones, Tyler? He does. So Tyler will be heading down to the field and get an opportunity to listen in on the players. You might want to hide the children for this part of the show. We never quite know what's going to happen. Down there, some excited football players after a big victory. But it's always very insightful to hear from the players and the coaches, and especially after, really, I think a game where both teams learned a lot tonight about themselves. Stoney Creek attempt the onside kick, goes a little bit long. Samaj Morgan with the ball, and he's going to take off one more time. Advances the ball all the way up to the 42-yard line, and we got a penalty flag. We'll wait and see what that is.
Samaj kind of looking back to his fellow returner there, saying, hey, maybe you want to take the ball? I don't know if he's thinking lateral or just...
It looked like he wanted to pitch it for a moment.
He did.
There. Yeah.
Looked like he wanted to pitch and say, you take this one.
I don't see a flag, Tyler, but if you say there is one, there is one.
I thought I saw one thrown. Looks like the referees.
Okay, well, I don't see any penalty on the play, but they must have picked it up. So the ball is on the 41-yard line of Stoney Creek. West Bloomfield with the ball in the waning moments of this contest. 1:06 to go in the game. Lakers take the snap. Sweep left. Lakers get around the outside in a really nice run that time for West Bloomfield by Jaden Ellis.
Yeah, Alos getting his first touches of the night. He's kind of been one of those down depth chart guys that's gotten a lot of action in the first 2 weeks against the Titans of Sterling Heights Stevenson and last week against the Pioneers of Harper Woods, and really hasn't seen too much action tonight as other guys like Josh Tillman and those down the depth chart also get their opportunities as well, but he's going to be a big player for West Bloomfield this year.
Well, it was a great play, but unfortunately a hold on the play, and that's going to set the Lakers back to the West Bloomfield 47-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Lakers in a bunch. Lakers have been doing a pretty good job most of the night playing relatively error-free and very few penalties for West Bloomfield tonight. Pecor in for West Bloomfield. Keeps the ball, runs it to the left side. And another penalty flag around the 45-yard line of the backfield. Another possible, it looks like an illegal shift call here by West Bloomfield. We'll wait for the call. And that is, in fact, what it is. So they'll watch the ball back 5 more yards, Tyler. And it's going to be first down again, and the ball on the 42-yard line.
Yeah, working some of the kinks out late in the second unit for West Bloomfield. And, you don't love seeing that at any point in the game, but for your second team, it's an opportunity for them to learn something, learn a little bit about real game action, and kind of snuff out those issues that we saw with the first-string players last week, too, at home against Harper Woods before it really matters in critical moments of the game down the line in the regular season and certainly in the playoffs.
And the Lakers just going to take a knee and put this one to bed. Good job by West Bloomfield tonight. They're going to come up with a really nice victory. The Lakers are going to win this contest. Final score will be 42-23 as the clock ticks down. Both the teams come back out of the field, shake hands. And Tyler, really, what a wonderful night of high school football, really.
Yeah, it was. Exciting night. The game started off being very close. We saw the strengths of both of these teams and saw the weaknesses of both of these teams. Plenty to improve on for both of these squads. But ultimately, I think both of these teams are going to come out of this game at least satisfied with the way that they played ball tonight. The Lakers, showing up some of those issues, particularly on penalties that we saw in Week 2 at home against Harper Woods, and going up against a tough team and a gritty team in the Cougars as that warm-up to play Clarkston.
All right, very good. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back in a minute. Tyler's going to make his way down to the field, and we will have our post-game festivities coming up for you in just a couple of minutes. Final score tonight, 42-23. West Bloomfield goes to 3-0 in the season. We'll take a timeout and be back in a moment. You're listening to and watching Laker football on 89.3 Lakes FM at lakesfm.com.
Wake up, Greater West Bloomfield. Start your mornings with The Splash and tune in for The Splash Live. Get acquainted with people, places, and activities that are live, local, and for you. First thing in the morning, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. on our Civic Center TV YouTube page, or watch us live at Civic Center TV or on Facebook. The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live update show. Fire Prevention Week is just around the corner. Join volunteer, part-time, and on-call firefighters at this year's Fire Open House. Catch up on your fire safety knowledge with live demonstrations and hands-on activities. Chat with local businesses and resources about fire prevention, see some familiar faces, fight future fires, and make some new friends. The West Bloomfield Fire Open House, October 2nd from noon to 3 p.m. at Fire Station 1 on Orchard Lake Road. Mark your calendars for the 11th Annual Family Fun Night at West Bloomfield High School. Stop by on Friday, September 16th at 5 p.m. for an evening of free, fun activities as we honor our military, police, and fire heroes. Plus, stick around to see Laker football take on Clarkston at 7 p.m. To find out more, scan the QR code on your screen or visit wbsd.org/community/family fun night. Hey Laker fans, do you know a friend or neighbor that volunteers in Greater West Bloomfield? We would love to help you recognize them at the 51st Annual Michigan Week Awards. Countless members of the communities of Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield give their time and talent daily without regard for recognition. You can help recognize these individuals and organizations at our awards breakfast next year on May 12, 2023. Nominate your neighbor or organization starting January 28, 2023. Go to michiganweek.org for details. Plan a day out, enjoy an exquisite dinner, or soak in the atmosphere at Orchard Mall in the heart of West Bloomfield. Between Maple and Orchard Lake Road, capture the moment at Frameable Faces. Wrap up your back-to-school shopping at Guys and Gals, or get presents for your pet at Premier Pet Supply, and so much more. Visit the Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield, and consider visiting November 26th for their Small Business Saturday. Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield.
Welcome back to Laker football right here at 89.3 Lakes FM. Civic Center TV. Also, you can watch us on civiccentertv.com, lakesfm.com, Facebook on the West Bloomfield Schools Facebook page, and of course go to that civiccentertv.com YouTube channel and check out your Lakers football broadcast on these Friday nights. So really a very enjoyable contest tonight in every way. Stoney Creek, they put on a terrific show. It is a very collegiate feel here in Stoney Creek, Rochester Hills, and beautiful facility, the complete program, great band, great fans, great cheerleaders, great everything, and really great football tonight too. I think on many fronts the Lakers were challenged well beyond, I think, what they might have expected tonight. And it wasn't just at the beginning of the game when the Lakers were surprised by Stoney Creek getting out of the lead early in this contest. It was a whole lot more than that. It was a situation where I don't know, I'm just looking at what Stoney Creek is doing. They're all kind of bundling up here, and maybe some kind of a performance of some kind going on down on the field. But, the Lakers got off to a tough start tonight. Stoney Creek came in, scored first, surprised them, showed them that they could move the ball down the field for long drives. Were able to break free in a number of drives. Were able to show that they have big bursts of speed. And really maybe the biggest surprise of all, to show that they could get through and break through the Lakers' offensive line that has been doing a good job all season long against almost everybody they played. So, yeah, really nice job by the West Bloomfield Lakers tonight to come up with a victory. And I just couldn't say more. Tyler Keefe is making his way down to hear what the coaches and players have to say. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. You are listening to Laker football right here on 89.3 Lakes FM and lakesfm.com.
Wake up, Greater West Bloomfield. Start your mornings with The Splash and tune in for The Splash Live. Get acquainted with people, places, and activities that are live, local, and for you. First thing in the morning, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. on our Civic Center TV YouTube page, or watch us live at Civic Center TV or on Facebook. The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live update show. Fire Prevention Week is just around the corner. Join volunteer, part-time, and on-call firefighters at this year's Fire Open House. Catch up on your fire safety knowledge with live demonstrations and hands-on activities. Chat with local businesses and resources about fire prevention, see some familiar faces, fight future fires, and make some new friends. The West Bloomfield Fire Open House, October 2nd from noon to 3 p.m. at Fire Station 1 on Orchard Lake Road. Mark your calendars for the 11th Annual Family Fun Night at West Bloomfield High School. Stop by on Friday, September 16th at 5 p.m. for an evening of free, fun activities as we honor our military, police, and fire heroes. Plus, stick around to see Laker football take on Clarkston at 7 p.m. To find out more, scan the QR code on your screen or visit wbsd.org/community/family fun night. Hey Laker fans, do you know a friend or neighbor that volunteers in Greater West Bloomfield? We would love to help you recognize them at the 51st Annual Michigan Week Awards. Countless members of the communities of Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield give their time and talent daily without regard for recognition. You can help recognize these individuals and organizations at our awards breakfast next year on May 12, 2023. Nominate your neighbor or organization starting January 28, 2023. Go to michiganweek.org for details. Plan a day out, enjoy an exquisite dinner, or soak in the atmosphere at Orchard Mall in the heart of West Bloomfield. Between Maple and Orchard Lake Road, capture the moment at Frameable Faces. Wrap up your back-to-school shopping at Guys and Gals, or get presents for your pet at Premier Pet Supply, and so much more. Visit the Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield, and consider visiting November 26th for their Small Business Saturday. Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield.
Welcome back to Laker football and the Laker postgame show right here at 89.3 Lakes FM at lakesfm.com. Tyler Keefe is down there somewhere. I don't know that we're going to be able to hear what's going on, but you can certainly see all the happiness and glee down there tonight as your West Bloomfield Lakers are very, very happy. There's Tyler working on all of our equipment in the shot. So we'll try to get it all working. Hopefully we'll be able to make it work before the night is over. But, again, everything else worked tonight for the West Bloomfield Lakers. They really did a great job in this contest. Lakers now go to 3-0, and we've got a really exciting game going on between Clarkston and Rochester Adams. Clarkston was in the lead last time we talked to them and checked in on that. So no word yet on what's going to happen there. But it sets up for a really, really exciting and interesting night. Lakers certainly have been tested this season, and all three of their victories have been great victories. But they have not been tested to the extent that they're going to be tested next week by one of the best teams in the state and a team that's caused them a lot of trouble over the last several years, and that is the Clarkston Wolves, who come to West Bloomfield next week. And that one is immediately followed by the team that they are playing tonight right down the road in Rochester Adams, team that beat the Lakers twice last year. So the big, big, big tests are still right ahead of the Lakers coming up in the next couple of weeks, and we'll just have to see how they perform. Now, have the Lakers done everything they needed to do to get prepared for both of those contests? I said they've done a pretty good job. You know, the Lakers have shown us an awful lot. Tonight, they seemed a little bit out of sync because Rochester Adams came, or not Rochester Adams, but Stoney Creek came at them in a little bit of an unusual and unconventional way. So that was a little bit of a surprise. But we are hearing Tyler Keefe here now, so we're going to be able to get down to him in just a couple of minutes and to check in. So if you can just have Tyler go ahead, we can hear him and see him. I would just, John, just have him go. Okay, here's Tyler Keefe of the field.
Down on the field, Lakers in their scrum. They are talking it over now. We've had Rock Harris talking, and now we'll get Samaj Morgan. Just a minute, I'll get in there. We'll get Samaj's audio.
You know what I'm saying? I want to set somebody out. So this week in practice, bro, ain't no plan, bro, because we got a good we got a good team ahead of us, so we got to focus up, bro. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we need to keep coming together as a team, bro, and keep winning games because we still far from our goal. So let's get it. Let's get it going. Sir.
Okay. Hey, listen, guys, we're going to keep this journey going, but I'd like to thank, first of all,
now it's Coach Grice,
for your valuable support, and you out here all the time with our team. I appreciate you guys coming out and supporting our program. All right? Let's bring it up, fellas. Let's bring it up. Lakers Jack.
Now they'll break it down. Who's going to break it down for the Lakers? Looks like Jaws getting prepared. Kari. The guys getting ready to break this down.
Hey, cut that shit up.
All right, so as you can see, Tyler Keefe is right down there in the middle of it. This is really always a moving moment after every game. They say some words, obviously, comments from the coaches and the players, and then Tyler should have a really nice opportunity.
All right, everybody on the bus. We get on the bus.
Rice, who was right
Coach, can we
there.
get a moment with you here? We've got Coach Grice here with us.
All right, so Tyler is with Coach Rice here, and we'll get him in just a minute here. And there we go. Tyler Keefe on the field.
Okay.
Thanks,
Are we right
Dave.
here?
Appreciate it. Yes, we are right here, Coach Grice. A big win here tonight on the road, starting OAA Red Division play against Stoney Creek. They had a little bit of an even game against you to start off. What changed for the Lakers, especially defensively, against a team that loves to run that run-pass option?
Well, we knew that they're going to pound the ball and try to control the clock by keeping our offense off the field. So that first quarter, we only had one possession on offense, and they kind of moved the ball. But we was able to stop them for a field goal. We made some quick adjustments to how we aligned up, kind of shut it down after that. But they're a good team, and again, they're very methodical what they do, and our defense stepped up and make sure we cut things down.
One of the guys that really stepped up tonight and had a big game was Samaj Morgan, a hat trick for him. One touchdown in all three phases of the game. Talk about what he brought to this team on this night and that little confidence boost that his performance gave to the rest of the squad.
Well, Samaj is, we call him jukebox for a reason. So anytime it touches his hands, you got to embrace yourself for what to happen. When we're not sure what's going to happen, all we know that he's going to be productive in that run. So Samaj, he does it all for us. Returns, punt returns, plays safety for us. And you can see in the game where he recovered, snatched the ball and ran it back for a touchdown. That's Samaj. So if we can get him on the field in all aspects of the game that help us, that's a plus for us.
Underrated skill is those upfield blocks. They played such a big role today. That Jaws touchdown late in the game, as well as in the first half, those touchdowns for Samaj Morgan. I think about his receiving touchdown in particular. Can you talk about the impact that guys like Trenton Allison and others up the field today had, making those key blocks and those little plays that often don't get the glory they deserve? No, they don't. In fact, a person like Trent Allison, he takes pride in blocking downfield, and our receiver coach, he does a good job of making sure they block first before they're able to be a good catcher. So we do a good job of working on that in practice on a consistent basis, and we really was focused on that this offseason because of a lot of penalties we had the receivers last year. So it's something that's panning out for us this year. And a big game here to start off OAA Red play. A very competitive game happening down the road at Rochester Adams between Adams and Clarkson. Clarkson had a bit of a healthy lead. What do you say to your team win now after this performance, continuing on in OAA Red play in a really tough home matchup next week against the Clarkston Wolves.
Well, it's always a competitive game with Clarkston, and we always look forward to playing these guys. They always come with, they bring the heat, and we bring the heat. The last 2 games that we played, it went in overtime. So hopefully they don't give me a heart attack this year not going overtime. But it's always going to be a competitive game. They got a great program, and they consistently win. So we're going to match their intensity and get ready for them.
Coach, appreciate it. Congrats on the win tonight, and looking forward to next week against Clarkston.
Thanks, Tyler. Appreciate
Coach Tyrese Grice, back to you, Dave.
All right, thank you very much, Tyler. Tyrese Grice, your West Bloomfield Laker head coach. Good job, Tyler Keefe down there. We'll check in with him and get some more interviews in the next couple of moments. Thank you for tuning in. It is the Tyrese Grice postgame show. Well, I just gave him his own postgame show. It is the Laker postgame show. Dave Scott of the press box, along with the TV crew, Tyler Keefe down on the field. And the Lakers come up with a really nice victory tonight. West Bloomfield wins 42-23, and really a nice job by the Lakers tonight. And, of course, next week it's going to be West Bloomfield and Clarkston. Clarkston matched up in a tight contest, of course, with Rochester Adams. So we'll have both of those teams coming up in just a couple of minutes. So it's all good. But Tyler, is he ready? Good. Let's head back down to the field and check it again with Tyler Keefe.
Thanks, Dave. Down here on the field with Rob Harris. Rock, big game for the linebackers tonight, and really a tough defensive matchup for your team. Despite what the final score was, this is a different kind of offense you guys went up against tonight, a team that loves to run that run-pass option. How, in terms of preparation, what you're looking for in the linebacking core, really that whole front 7, how did things change this week from past weeks, and how did you guys adjust after some offensive success early on in the game for Justin Taylor and company?
So this week we planned, because they like to run a lot of fakes and misdirections. So we ran 5 men in the line, and we just basically tore it up. That's what we wanted to do all game. So at first we were game planning something else. We were game planning to run, our usual defense, and then we had to change it up after they kept running down our throat. So then we switched it to our 5-man front on the line, where I was on and 4 other linemen. And, we started tearing it up. That's how we play. So, we make quick changes, but that's what's good about our coaching staff and our players, that, we can switch things around and make things happen.
What's great about that, too, adding another person to the defensive line, whether it be a linebacker or another guy coming off down the depth chart from the defensive edge, Stephen Fountain, Jonathan Gabriel, those kinds of guys, is you get to see some more of the depth of that linebacking core. Particularly, we saw a lot of action tonight, and we have in the past few weeks, from Kamani Wellens. Can you talk about his development from your angle as a leader in this defensive core and as really one of the anchors of that linebacking core for the Lakers?
Okay, 16?
Yeah.
Okay, that's Montel Johnson. He had to change his number. But, he's improved a lot. So, a couple years ago it was his first year playing linebacker a little bit. But, he's very athletic. I've been playing with him since I was 4 years old. So he just had to tune in, and he had a great offseason. He picked up a lot of offers, so I'm proud of him. And now that he's doing that, he has more confidence in himself. He's been making plays, and I'm proud of him. So that's why we have a really good linebacker group.
The two of you heading up to East Lansing this week, and you excited to see Mel Tucker and company and that team go up against Akron tomorrow?
Oh, yes. I've never been to their field before, so it's something that I'm looking forward to.
The Spartan Stadium, definitely a unique experience, and I would imagine it's even more unique for those on the field. Rob, good job tonight. Good luck next week against Clarkson. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you, Tyler.
Appreciate it. Back to you, Dave.
All right, thank you very much, Tyler. I'm always so impressed by the athletes that we have here. And what's really even more impressive is when you think about it, so many of them are destined for bigger programs. And this isn't just the end of their football career for so many of these players here at West Bloomfield. For a lot of them, like, with Donovan Edwards, and I can go on and on and on and on. A lot of them, this is the beginning of their football career. Not everybody, but we got a lot of players here in West Bloomfield that are building a unique experience to play in a very competitive program. And then, be able to participate in some of the other activities like these media interviews and other things that we think will help them. For us, we're all the big beneficiaries because we get a chance to follow around this great West Bloomfield football team that keeps, winning. And this season, we've had 3 big victories so far. But the sledding is going to get a little bit tougher. Without any question, it's going to get a little bit tougher coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Tyler is down on the field right now, and we're going to go back back to him, and I believe he is with Amir Herring, so let's send it right back down to Tyler Keefe. Go ahead. Just send it. He'll get in the shot. Just send it right back down to Tyler Keefe. Go ahead.
Appreciate it, Dave. Amir Herring joining us now, just talking over some things with a couple of teammates and coaches before he came over to us. A big game tonight to really set the tone for OAA Red play, especially on the offensive side. Tough defensive matchup starting up. What changed really late in the first half and really going into the second half too that woke up this offense and allowed you guys to get to that next level?
Just the mentality of our whole team, really. Our team is, we work together. We work really hard together since the spring into the summer, now into the season, now going into OAA play. So really we're really a resilient team. And when adversity hits, we just come back and our mentality really just changed over that first quarter and we all bought in. Everybody, we just had to get into our groove and our rhythm really in that first quarter, really see what they were doing, things that we can pick up on. But then, I couldn't be more prouder, of my guys, in the trenches and on the whole team. Everybody played a phenomenal game and everybody adjusted well when their time was called.
Yeah, really stepping up on the offensive line, giving you guys opportunities for big runs like Jaws, and even a couple big runs for Rick Nance out of the quarterback position. Speak to the chemistry of this O-line and how that's really going to be a game changer going into the thick of OAA play.
The chemistry, we're a tight group, very, very tight-knit group. Just overall, we talk to each other, every day. It could be off the field. We run hills after practice. That's really just where the chemistry really comes from. We work hard together. We shed tears together. We bleed together. We in the trenches together. 5 equals 1 really. Just if someone, messes up, the whole play can be blown. But when we all fight together in unison, that's when special plays happen for Jaws, Rick, Samaj, Trent, Tay, everybody in our receiving core and everybody in the backfield.
Special play leads to big plays and big wins, including tonight here at Stoney Creek. Amir, thanks for joining us.
No, thank you.
Appreciate it. As he heads back to the bus, that'll do it from down here on the field. Back to you, Dave.
All right, very good, Tyler. We'll check in with you one more time down there as we wrap up our broadcast. Hey, I tell you what a great night of Laker football. I'm really glad that all this technology worked out so we could get back to giving you these interviews on the field. We'll hopefully be able to do that for the rest of the season. And when I talk about the rest of the season, next 2 weeks are going to be absolutely huge, Laker fans. We need everybody to come out to the games and tune in. It all begins next week with Clarkston and West Bloomfield, and, of course, that's going to be happening back at the Swamp. It's going to be family fun night next Friday night. Lakers are going to come in 3-0. The eyes of the high school football community will be on us, especially if Clarkston were to continue and beat Rochester Adams. That would make next week's game even more interesting, regardless of the outcome tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun next week. We hope you tune in and come. Family Fun Night begins at 5 o'clock, and, of course, we're going to be celebrating the 50th anniversary of West Bloomfield High School, and then we've got Rochester Adams, the team that beat us in the regional finals last year, team that beat us 2 times, the only team really to beat us last year, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to take a quick time out. We'll be back. Tyler's in the field. I'm up here in the press box. If we can make everything work, we'll be able to wrap up our broadcast with me here and him down there after we get a couple of quick words in. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's the post-game show you're listening to and watching Laker football, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Hey Laker fans, do you know a friend or neighbor that volunteers in Greater West Bloomfield? We would love to help you recognize them at the 51st Annual Michigan Week Awards. Countless members of the communities of Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield give their time and talent daily without regard for recognition. You can help recognize these individuals and organizations at our awards breakfast next year on May 12th, 2023. Nominate your neighbor or organization starting January 28th, 2023. Go to michiganweek.org for details. Plan a day out, enjoy an exquisite dinner, or soak in the atmosphere at Orchard Mall in the heart of West Bloomfield. Between Maple and Orchard Lake Road, capture the moment at Frameable Faces. Wrap up your back-to-school shopping at Guys and Gals, or get presents for your pet at Premier Pet Supply, and so much more. Visit the Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield, and consider visiting November 26th for their Small Business Saturday. Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield.
Welcome back to Laker football right here at 89.3 Lakes FM, Civic Center TV, and YouTube, Facebook Live, My Michigan TV, all kinds of outlets. I'm not pretty enough to be on television, let's be honest, but Tyler Keefe is down on the field. He's standing on the 20-yard line. Is it the 20 or the 15-yard line, Tyler? Okay, Tyler's down there on the 15-yard line. And, Tyler, so what are your thoughts after the post-game interviews and the comments from the players and the coach?
Well, I promise I'm not getting any breaking news here doing the Adam Schefter stuff down on the field. This is just how I'm communicating with Dave. Modern technology allows this to happen, but a great performance for the Lakers. And what I really noticed in their scrum post-game is they celebrated the win. They were excited. They were cheering each other on. They were pumping each other up after a big win on the road at Stoney Creek before they go home to play the Clarkston Wolves next week. But at some point, that just turned. It went from the jubilation of a win on the road at Stoney Creek to the keen focus on next week, where Clarkston's going to be coming in to the Swamp, and that's really going to be potentially the OAA championship game right there, as Clarkston is taking care of business with Rochester Adams. That game's still a long way from being over, and Rochester Adams still very much a power, but this Lakers team is focused and they're ready for family fun night, and hopefully not so much fun for the Clarkston Wolves.
Well, it's going to be we're going to be taking care of business. It's going to be family football business night, especially if Clarkston wins. Doesn't matter whether they win or not. The next 2 weeks are what it's all about. I think that you take a look at tonight's game and you look at one thing that I think was the big issue. We always look, Tyler, for what was a big thing that came out of tonight's game. For me, I'll tell you what, Stoney Creek scared them at the beginning of the contest, and they were able to move the ball down the field. And moreover, and I think better than anybody else, they were able to run the ball against the Laker D-line. I think the Lakers were a little surprised by that. I think they recovered, they fixed it, and they came up with a big victory. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and they were able to make those adjustments, and when they made those adjustments, they executed on them, and I think that's critical to being able to play a strong game of football, especially against a team that's going to run misdirection, that's going to use the run-pass option to their advantage, that has a quarterback that's excellent at executing the game plan that's being set for his skill sets. And going into next week against Michael Hine and Clarkston with their potent offense and their stellar defense as well, that's able to compete with the best of the best in the OAA Red. The Lakers are going to have to execute that game plan perfectly the next couple of weeks, next several weeks, as they go through the remainder of their OAA schedule, Dave.
All right, Tyler, great job in the field. I appreciate you fighting through all the technology. And our fans don't know this at home as much as I do, but you've really been hitting the gym lately. But in spite of all that, and the fact that you're in great shape, you still look like a much smaller broadcaster than these football players. And you're saying, it's like you're holding the mic right. Hello, Mr. Football Player. Can you talk into my microphone way up there?
I'm just afraid of asking the wrong question. Rock Harris steps back a few yards and has one more tackle added to his stat sheet tonight.
All right. Well, thank you. We'll get you some headsets. You won't have to use a phone next week. Thank you very much. Any final words before we say goodnight?
Exciting game for the Lakers. Really, when they woke up, they played great football tonight, and once they got their number on Stoney Creek, they really executed well in all three phases. So exciting night here at Stoney Creek, but it's all eyes on the home game next week, Friday. Family fun night against the Clarkston Wolves.
All right. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. Tyler, great job down there. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Family fun night it is, and it's going to be fun. We knew it was going to be fun anyway. Now it's really going to be fun. Lakers come in 3-0 for next Friday night's contest. Clarkston is coming in win, lose, or draw tonight. They put up one heck of a show this evening, and that is going to make next week's contest even more interesting. So thank you for joining us tonight. A big thank you to Premier Pet Supplies, Orchard Mall, the fine people at the Michigan Week Committee, Deb and Ken Macon, and everybody else who sponsors our broadcasts during the year. Thank you very much for supporting our broadcast. A big thank you to our entire broadcast team, and that starts out with Jared and Calvin, who are in our studios, one in Troy, one in West Bloomfield, to make everything work there. Thanks, guys. I know you've been working a long, hard day, and I really, really appreciate your efforts to get tonight's game on the air. The Catoni brothers, Dominic and Matt, neither one of them passed out in the 85-degree sunshine, but we appreciate their hard work tonight. And of course, our director, Mr. John Atwater, doing a good job making all the TV work tonight. So thanks to our entire crew. We look forward to seeing you next Friday night. Our broadcast begins early at 5 o'clock for Family Fun Night, and we'll be here for the extended tailgate party and a whole lot of fun, and it will continue on with your 3-0 Lakers. Final score tonight from Stoney Creek is your West Bloomfield Lakers 42, Stoney Creek 23. Lakers are now 3-0 in the season and very fired up and ready for next week's contest. For the whole crew, from the press box, Dave Scott saying so long and good night, and thank you for listening to and watching Laker football.